U.S. Supreme Court. The San Francisco-based 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals used narrow grounds to reject the Trump administration's bid to undo a Hawaii federal court's decision blocking the temporary ban. It said the president's March 6th order violated existing immigration law, but the three-judge panel did not address whether it was unconstitutional discrimination against Muslims. A second court, the Richmond, Virginia-backed 4th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, on May 25th upheld a Maryland judge's ruling that also blocked Trump's 90-day ban on travelers from Libya, Iran, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. The Ninth Circuit Court largely left in place a nationwide injunction by Judge Derek Watson that stopped parts of the order, which Trump said was urgently needed to prevent terrorism in the United States. That ruling came in a lawsuit challenging the order brought by the state of Hawaii, which stated the ban would harm its universities and tourism industry. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
According to a study released Thursday by the Princeton University Department of Biology, this local 2-year-old woodland chipmunk has crafted a far more secure and dependable plan for the future than 8 out of 10 Americans. Reporters spoke to citizens to get their view on the study.
Clearly, this chipmunk is pretty impressive. I mean, he wakes up every morning and says, I need to collect acorns and berries for the winter. He sets goals for himself and he gets it done.
He has to make a burrow in a tree stump. That's exactly what he does. He doesn't pause and have a snack and lay around for a few hours.
Out of nearly 40 separate interviews with Americans, 33 told reporters they were very impressed by the chipmunk's continued display of foresight, personal responsibility, and pragmatic decision-making when considering his own future.
He's preparing for winter, he's building a home, and he's trying to get enough nutrients to make it throughout the rest of the day. All this while being worried about maybe getting eaten by a wolf or an owl or something. Earlier this week, the electricity went off in my home because I forgot to pay my bill. It's the second time this year.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and you are welcome to bring up whatever's on your mind. As always, our toll-free number is available to you at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And you can Skype on in here. Skype username LRN.FM. Want to welcome our brand newest radio affiliate, which is actually a former affiliate that has come back into
I always love those.
Yep, that has come back into the Free Talk Live fold. Well, you know, it's always nice when that happens because you know it's not something we did that got us removed the first time. It's usually just some sort of business thing.
Scheduling.
And whatever.
Formats and stuff.
But WMEL, the Talk to Me station, is back. They are on the east coast of Florida, over in the Melbourne, Cocoa area of Florida. And they've upgraded to a bigger and badder AM transmitter, which has 3 FM translators in Melbourne and Cocoa.
Jeez, well, it's a long county, Brevard.
Yeah.
It runs all along the coast there. It's not particularly wide, but it's deep or something like that.
Yeah, so welcome to our listeners there, and they're back in a big way. They're carrying us 5 nights a week, Tuesday through Saturday nights in the late nights, so 10 p.m. on. So you're not hearing us live if you're listening to WMEL, but if you want to participate in the show, you're always welcome to call us between 7 and 10 at night Eastern Time, and we're here 7 nights a week. So don't hesitate. You know, if you feel so inclined, you want to join the conversation, you want to bring up some sort of topic that you want to hear discussed on the radio, that's what we're here for. That's what we do. Maybe you're new to the show and you didn't hear us back when we used to be on. I think we were on weekends previously. So it's good to be on and expanded in Melbourne there on WMEL.
Yeah. So Brevard County kind of looks like Delaware, except doesn't have that little helmet at the top.
I don't know anything about the east coast of Florida, man. I visited there like once. I'm just
telling you what it looks like.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got Cape Canaveral. You're familiar with that, right?
Yeah, that's the one place on the East Coast that I actually... No, I went to... what's the place with the... Oh, God. The Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum in it.
I have no idea where your canned, ordinary...
St. Augustine.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cape Canaveral.
That's where the rockets are.
Is in Brevard County.
Yeah.
Ripley's, believe it or not, it's all across America and probably the world. It's just your average crappy attraction.
I thought it was pretty cool as a kid.
I understand you enjoyed it. Shooting rockets into outer space is pretty cool.
Yeah, but you don't get to see that every day over there.
You get to see it often enough if you live there.
Sure enough. The
night launches are the best.
Yeah, I bet they are. So it's actually call letters are actually WWBC, but they're still calling themselves WMEL, the Talk to Me station. So welcome to the program. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. And we do have Skype, by the way. Our Skype username is LRN.FM, so feel free to contact us that way. And I do mean by contact, I mean call. Skype is, we're not going to read your text messages on the air. We got enough to talk about here, but we want you to join the conversation and have a conversation with us about whatever's on your mind. So we're going to start out tonight with the news about the Bill Cosby case. And the news is that the jury is deliberating. And we haven't really covered this case in quite a while. I mean, we talked about it briefly in the past, but not when it was actually in the trial phase, and I guess it has been recently, and now the jury is going into another day of deliberations. From Norristown, Pennsylvania, CBS and AP News reporting the jury in the Bill Cosby sexual assault case is weighing charges that could send him to prison for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Drilled down Tuesday on what the TV star had said happened in his suburban Philadelphia home and how he characterized his relationship with the accuser. Judge Stephen O'Neill spent an hour rereading pieces of Cosby's deposition from 2005. They wanted to revisit the portion of the deposition where the comedian, who's now 79 years old, talked about giving Andrea Constand 3 friends. She sat with her back to the kitchen wall, said Cosby, and there was talk of tension, yes, about relaxation, and Andrea trying to learn to relax the shoulders, the head, etc. And I went upstairs and I went into my pack and I broke one whole one and brought a half down and told her to take it. Your friends, Cosby said he told her. I have 3 friends for you to make you relax. Cosby later told police the pills were Benadryl, an over-the-counter cold and allergy medicine. Constand, then an athletic 6-foot-tall college basketball staffer, said they made her dazed and groggy and unable to say no or fight back when Cosby went inside her pants. As they pored over Cosby's words, the jurors appeared to struggle with some language in one of the charges against him, which was without her knowledge, that language. The jury is considering 3 counts of felony aggravated indecent assault. The 3rd count covers Cosby's alleged use of pills to impair Constand before groping her breast and genitals. The jury is asking about the phrasing asked about the phrasing this morning, but O'Neill said he couldn't define it for them. The jury came back later.
They can't define the law for you?
Apparently not. It's up to you to interpret that, I suppose.
Okay.
The jury came back later Tuesday and asked to hear testimony about the initial police report that Constand filed with Durham police in 2005. With how long deliberations have lasted, Cosby's legal team is confident and cautiously optimistic, because some would say that if the jury takes a long time to deliberate, the odds are increased that they're going to come back either hung or not guilty.
Well, somebody's holding on in some way, right?
That's usually the sign of that, yes.
And, in the case of Cosby, it's a celebrity, so people understand the importance of having a good decision. I think far too many people, just find that everybody just wants to go home, and if they can compromise on you being guilty, then they'll compromise on you being guilty. I mean, they're
making $15 a day.
There's pot pies to make, right? I mean, everybody's hungry. The kids need to do their homework. This whole jury thing, it's pain. I'm against juries generally. I don't have any idea what happened in the Cosby case. I don't know.
Well, he allegedly drugged a woman and then allegedly
I know what allegedly he
molested
did.
her.
I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, you become
one of a myriad, supposedly, but this case, I think, only deals with the one.
I think that as people become powerful, they tend to become less accountable in their actions. Mm-hmm. Further, I think as people become important, they become targets. So I don't
What's the truth?
I have no, I'm going to take the opinion that I have no opinion, because what do I know about this case?
The DA's closing arguments, he put a lot of fiction in those arguments to try and sway the jury, and I think that's what the jury is looking at now, said Cosby's spokesperson Andrew Wyatt. He added, quote, "This jury, they're intelligent, they're asking the right questions, and he feels confident they'll come back and make the right decision," unquote. The defense insisted throughout the trial that Constand hid the fact they'd had a romantic relationship before the early 2004 encounter when she went to police a year later. Cosby, his lawyer said, never ran from talking to police, for better or worse. He never shuts up, said lawyer Brian McGonigal of his client in closing arguments Monday morning. Nonetheless, the comedian whose storytelling artistry fueled a $400 million fortune went quiet Monday when he had the chance to take the stand. The defense started and ended its case Monday within 6 minutes of repeat testimony from a detective. Cosby couldn't risk taking the stand and being cross-examined about the 60 other accusers if he denied ever drugging or molesting anyone. Constand, by contrast, testified for more than 7 hours last week. She had waited 12 years for her day in court, and authorities had declined to charge Cosby when she first came forward in 2005. Then other women started coming forward. Her lawsuit against him had elicited 4 days of testimony from Cosby about his sexual conduct with some of them. The testimony, unsealed in 2015, wasn't pretty coming from the beloved TV dad.
No, it's very sad, and what I do is I feel the worst for sort of his wife in this circumstance. She should have divorced him.
She was there with him in court.
Yep.
Apparently.
She should have divorced him. He should have given her everything in it. And then, she can let him live there in her house if she wants. But this would be the way to handle that situation.
Think about that in terms of the courage Andrea Constand has shown, said the district attorney Kevin Steele in his forceful closing arguments as Constand sat with detectives, her mother, and other accusers in the front row. The defense has tried repeatedly since his arrest in 2015 to have the case shut down. They said the charges were filed too late, that the accusers were after money, and they complained that prosecutors were improperly striking blacks from the jury chosen in Pittsburgh. More coming up here. You can share your thoughts on the Cosby case or whatever's on your mind. This is Free Talk Live.
This is your Bitcoin.com weekly news. New Hampshire Governor John Sununu signed HB 436, exempting virtual currencies from any and all money transmitter laws. A Nevada senator has introduced a bill to exempt blockchain technologies from taxation. This is not yet a law, but heartening nonetheless. Small businesses in Japan that are accepting Bitcoin have seen dramatic jumps in the value of their stocks. For the latest news, go to news.bitcoin.com.
DVD, books, music, instruments, periodicals, computers, software, electronics, photos, cell phones, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and outdoors, toys, games, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.freetalklive.com. Get all your shopping done, get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit Free Talk Live when you enter Amazon via shop.freetalklive.com.
BuySellMakeOffer.com is better than ever. I'm Pat Matthews, here to tell you that BuySellMakeOffer.com, the revolutionary site for buying and selling anything and everything, just upped the ante. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and click the Sign Me Up button. When you do, you'll get the first month free, and then it's just $9.95 a month to be a member forever. And you don't need a credit card for the initial setup. Create your own store on the site and sell whatever you want, as long as it's legal, however you want, and sell an unlimited number of items. Create your own intro video to describe what your store is all about. Use Skype to see who you're buying from or selling to. Sell unused household items, as well as antiques, cars, televisions, collectibles, real estate. The possibilities are unlimited. Use social networks to promote your store right from our site. Remember, there are never any fees, no matter how much you sell. Become a member today. I'm a member. Get all your friends to sign up, too. This could become a great business for you. Sell whatever you want for the first 30 days, free at BuySellMakeOffer.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees!
What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll-free. Join us right here. Our number, 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well, and the Skype username is LRN.FM. Mark, looks like you've been taking advantage of Simbi.com to get some commercials done for Free Talk Live. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I could call it audio work. That way people don't feel like they're doing radio commercials, but it's the truth. I mean, they're helping me with radio ads.
Well, what would be wrong with feeling like that? There's nothing wrong with doing that.
I don't know. I mean, I think that the old way that radio commercials used to be done is that every time your voice was played in any market anywhere, you got a little
some kind of payment.
And
we don't do it that way.
They don't do it that way anymore at all.
Huh. Okay.
I mean, there's probably somebody who does the payouts that way, but it's just not done anymore. Now it's a straight flat payment, and they own your voice for that particular 30 or 60 seconds.
I wonder how it works in television. If it works if it's changed any way similarly.
I couldn't say, but I can tell you that it just doesn't. I don't know of any ads that are that way. As long as I've been doing ads, it's always been you get paid for the what you cut right then. So my voice has been all over America doing text tag and title not included. Deal or destination fees may apply. She got it wrong a little bit, but whatever.
So you used Simbi.com though to find the talent,
right? And I didn't need money. You don't need money to do Simbi.com. Is all you have to do.
You have to be willing to trade though, right?
Yeah, is trade your services and goods. They do goods there too, but mostly services. Virtual services are things that work really well for Simbi.
You didn't have to have anything specific to trade to this person. You didn't have to give them like chicken eggs or anything like that.
Nope. You've got Simbi credits, so you work. I mean, it's currency, right? They've got their own currency right there. So I've done work with people on Simbi and Simbi itself, and I've got Simbis, which are the credits, and you just wouldn't believe the kind of diversity of services that they have over there. It was great.
That's cool.
Put up an ad, and quick.
How fast?
Within a couple hours.
That's fast.
Yeah, a couple hours. I put it right up with the verbiage that I wanted, and I'm looking for a few different people to cut the ads, so I have a diversity of voices.
Do you put what you offer up there, or do you accept offers from the respondents?
You can do both of those things. So
wow,
you can offer what you want and what you want to get paid, or you can
counter offer.
Ask for what you need, and that's what I did.
Neat.
So
very cool.
People like those offers because it's like, oh yeah, I could do that. to do this, all you need is audacity,
a decent mic.
A decent mic, a free program off the internet, and a voice.
There you go. You're making money.
There you go. SIMBI.com, Symbi.com. It's for the symbiotic community. Symbi.com.
So a little bit more here on the Cosby case. He is, or the jury's deliberating. They're in their at least second day here. I'm not sure how many days they've been deliberating, but this is another one today. And they've been coming back with a lot of questions for the judge. One question about some of the words in the assault charges that he's been hit with. Felony aggravated indecent assault charges, 3 counts of those, saying that, they're wondering what it means when the law itself, or the charges under which he's been brought, are referring to without her knowledge. Now, I don't have the full statement here, but the idea being that he drugged her allegedly, and they're saying that
he drugged her. Does that mean he held her down and gave her, pills or whatever?
The defense is saying that, right. The defense is saying that he gave her, obviously gave her the pills, and she took them. Mm-hmm. So she's saying that then put her in a position where she couldn't say no, and rebuff his advances. The defense is saying that Constand, who's the accuser in this case, was a willing romantic partner. Defense attorney McGonigal cited gifts and phone calls between Cosby and Constand to show she was more than just a college sports staffer trying to placate a powerful Temple University trustee. He said, quote, "This isn't talking to a trustee. This is talking to a lover," he said of one phone call that lasted for 49 minutes. Quote, "Why are we running from the truth of this case, this relationship? Why? I don't understand it," said the attorney, Camille Cosby.
I think the most damning thing for Bill Cosby is just the sheer number of people that are bringing charges.
The accusations. Yeah. Well, there's not charges. There's accusations.
I guess I should have said, I was saying charges sort of in the social sense as opposed to the legal sense.
Right, because many of them are, it's been too long.
Right, so these accusations that stand, but that's not the way courts are supposed to work.
Well, supposedly the jury wouldn't necessarily know about those things.
They shouldn't. It shouldn't be something that they take into their deliberation.
Although we've seen that in the Ross Ulbricht case that they're more than happy, at least in federal court, to trot out all kinds of unprecedented, proven allegations about somebody, like, drag someone through the mud, accusing Ross Ulbricht, the founder of the Silk Road, an online website where people could trade Bitcoin for drugs, that they accused him of committing murder or hiring somebody to commit murder, even though he's never been charged with that or convicted of it. So it just depends on what they're going to allow in, apparently.
Right. And it doesn't matter if it's Jeffrey Dahmer, right? Like, he killed the people he killed, and he didn't kill the people he didn't kill. Mm-hmm. And so that means that, the way that our court system is supposed to work is that a charge is brought and the evidence is weighed.
And you should be able to face your accuser.
Yep, you should be able to face your accuser, which, of course, is very difficult when you're dealing with murder charge.
Sure.
That's how it's supposed to be. Not, hey, looks like there's a whole bunch of people that are charging, making accusations. That's not supposed to weigh in at all.
Camille Cosby sat stoically in the first row behind her husband of 53 years. At the defense table, about 30 feet from Ms. Constand, Gloria Allred, who represents some of Cosby's accusers, believes he's guilty. She said, quote, "We have Mr. Cosby's own admission under oath that he provided 3 pills, that she didn't consent, Andrea, and that he found Andrea Constand to be truthful, and that he digitally penetrated her and groped her breasts after she had taken those pills. The only issue in this case is consent," she said. Cosby faces up to 10 years in prison on each of the 3 counts, but they could be merged for sentencing purposes. And again, he is 79 years old.
One wonders what the purpose of sentencing is. This is an opportunity for, what's this woman, Constance?
Constand?
Constand?
Yeah.
To be able to sue him and his estate. And look, if he did it, then fine. If he didn't do it, then, absolutely shouldn't be. I'm not, making a value judgment on that. It's just that a 79-year-old, man going to prison isn't of much value to society at whole. Is he a danger to any of us right now?
Well, they're going to claim that he is. I mean, that he could do this again, presumably.
Well, what can I say? It doesn't seem very likely to me.
It seems that the word's out. I mean, it's probably unlikely that you're going to be, that people aren't going to be aware of what he's been accused of doing.
The biggest problem I, have with this whole thing is that, frankly, his wife should have divorced him and taken the money, and then, she wouldn't be she wouldn't be having the sword pointed at her throat on this one. You know what I mean?
Oh, as far as the estate is concerned, you mean?
Right. I'm not saying that the Constant woman doesn't deserve some kind of monetary settlement or whatever based on what happened to her. I just don't think that,
Well, what did happen to her, right? I mean, if she voluntarily took those pills and then didn't report it until a year later, there's some questionable circumstances on her side of things, too. I'm not saying Cosby is a defensible guy, necessarily, but there's more coming up here in moments. You can share your thoughts. 855-450, free like freedom. What's the truth here?
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA-packed technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon. Or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
My husband says, "You are what you eat." Not true, dear. I did my research. Actually, you are what you can absorb. So I didn't feel the vitamins and supplements I was taking were effective. I didn't feel any different. Then I switched to Protivite, a liquid multivitamin, mineral, and phytonutrient complex. And wow, you've got to see the video at truehealthfacts.com. That's truehealthfacts.com. Then call 502-410-3411. Protivite is nutrition you can feel. Protivite is nutrition that gets in.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You dial toll-free. Join us right here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and you can Skype on in here. Skype username, lrn.fm. With you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
And don't forget, you can join us online. Just head on over to freetalklive.com and enjoy the features that we have waiting for you on the site, including our front page, where you can actually create the content that you see there over at freetalklive.com. It's a Reddit-based site, so that the front page is Reddit-based, so it's free to interact. You can submit content that you find online that you think our listeners would appreciate, that you think we might want to talk about on the air. You just submit it over at freetalklive.com, and then maybe we'll talk about it. Of course, the best way to get your thoughts on the air is to call in toll-free at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. I think we've pretty much gone through most of this Cosby case, at least, what's going on right now, which is the jury deliberating over a 79-year-old man who is accused of doing some, inappropriate things
throughout the years.
Yeah, over, decades, I guess?
Yep.
With the
Hey.
Up to...
Well, somebody had to make a Bill Cosby joke.
That was from Fat Albert, right?
Well, that was technically Bill Cosby.
Yeah,
Bill Cosby did the voiceover for Fat Albert.
Right.
I imagine he created the whole thing.
I think he did.
Yeah.
So
now he can make other characters.
60.
No, don't. All you're allowed to do is hey. That's it.
60 accusers. One in this particular criminal case. He's facing 3 felony counts, maybe as many as 30 years in prison, 10 years per count.
Come on, though. You can put a little spin on it. You can be like, hey.
I think he did something like that, yeah.
So you're welcome to comment. Let's go to your calls and thoughts. You can bring up anything that you want. Coming up, the latest out of Venezuela, where the Supreme Court's been set on fire, apparently, and the young man who was kidnapped in North Korea by the government there, he's been released in a coma. We can give you all that information. You can share your thoughts with us here. Plus, Johnson, you'll be telling us about the thin blue line running down the road here in our very own Keene, New Hampshire.
Other towns as well.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But first, we go to Skype, where Stefan is on the line in Ohio. Go ahead, Stefan.
Hey, guys. How are you tonight?
What's on your mind tonight?
I had an interesting experience with my county coordinator for the Libertarian Party tonight, and it made me kind of realize why the Libertarian Party isn't going anywhere in most places.
What is a county coordinator?
One of the directors at the Libertarian Party who just tries to organize events in the county. For example, tonight he wanted me to go to a town right 15 minutes down the road, Columbiana, Ohio, and he wanted me to come testify because they wanted to ban front yard gardens there.
Oh, no.
And the more I thought about it, I realized, what good does that accomplish getting people into the Libertarian Party or into the movement?
Wait, what good does what accomplish? You testifying at a city council meeting?
Yeah. What does that accomplish? I understand. Think about it like this. Even if we were successful, if we got them to say, okay, guess what? We're not going to ban front lawn gardens anymore. Who cares?
People who have front lawn gardens?
But that's not just but how is that going to get people within the Libertarian Party? I doubt they're going to see.
You do understand the purpose of the Libertarian Party isn't just to grow the party, it's to stand up for liberty.
Yes, but
grow the party.
But think about it like this, all right? I think that's a completely nonpartisan issue. I don't think anybody wants to get rid of front lawn gardens.
Yeah,
yes, they do. That's why they're passing.
People will be grateful to the people that stand up for them, and in all likelihood, the Democrats and Republicans will not, because they have not up to this point.
It's likely the Democrats and the Republicans who are putting forward this particular proposal to, control people's front yard gardens. I mean, they've threatened people in other places over this. We had a story out of Orlando where a couple had a beautiful front yard garden. They were, growing vegetables that they could use in their kitchen, and the city came after them. I don't remember if it was Orlando or Kissimmee or which city it was, but they came after him, and they came after him hard with hundreds of dollars a day in fines, if I'm recalling correctly. And so if you guys are the ones who are actually taking the government to task on this, not only are you going to get the appreciation of the individuals who are involved and all of the people who are, likely close friends with them, who care about them, but you also might very well get some publicity out of, let's say I know that at a lot of the city council meetings here in Keene, there's almost always news media present. They always, the newspaper, the radio station, there's a talk radio station here, they almost always bring out one of their reporters to just sort of do the regular city council meeting coverage. And if this is like the hot issue in that city council meeting, then they're going to say, Stephen from Ohio from the Libertarian Party said blah, 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 and he opposed this ordinance. So it's going to likely get the Libertarian Party some publicity, but whether or not it's going to acquire publicity shouldn't be the motivating factor. It should be the motivating factor, in my opinion, should be to do the right thing on behalf of the people in the community.
Well, I would say it would go like this, but it seems like the person putting this together didn't know anything about it. When I was invited, he refused to give me any details on it and said, "Oh, we're going to meet at a pizza place beforehand." And it makes me think, shouldn't you be telling us the details of what's happening in Columbiana before you invite me to come there?
Okay, so that's a minor quibble on his organizational ability, but at the very least, he's inviting you to come. I mean, from that aspect, he is doing his job, which is to try to garner some interest. And, maybe your critique is valid that he is not as well informed on the issue as you might like him to be. But if you think you can do a better job, maybe you should step up and take his position next time it's being assigned.
I have no idea how it's assigned. That's what I'm actually trying to figure out. Is it an elected office, or does the party put it together?
There's no elected offices within the Libertarian Party. I mean, unless it's within the Libertarian Party. It's not the government that, you're not going to go vote at a voting day for a Libertarian Party position. It's likely one of those things where they say, "Oh, we need a coordinator for such and such county" at the yearly convention that they have, and then they look to see if anybody's going to raise their hand. And if nobody raises their hand, then, they'll get desperate at that point.
Well, another thing is, I've been telling these people for over a month now, maybe we should actually go door to door, hand out flyers, and actually go talk to people. Not have pizza parties and just go to a city council meeting like once every 5 or 6 months. It seems like for the most part they're lazy until it's something right down the road.
Now, what is your reason for going door to door? To just talk to people about the Libertarian Party? I mean, that's kind of Jehovah's Witness approach, right?
Do you have time for the Libertarian?
And they're free to shut the door on me. But if they talk to us, that's how you get things done.
Right, but generally when you go door to door, and I appreciate I definitely appreciate your interest in doing things. That's important, to have the drive to get out there and do stuff. But generally when you go door to door, there's some sort of mission. There's some kind of goal that you're looking to accomplish. Maybe you want to promote a particular candidate for office. That's probably the most common reason to go door to door. Or there's maybe an upcoming issue vote, and you want to talk to people about that particular issue. To just go and knock on doors and promote the Libertarian Party, I don't know if that's the most effective way to do things, but I wouldn't tell you to not do it. I just don't know if you're going to get a very, enthusiastic group of people to go along with you.
Well, it's not just the party. I see it more of the principles of the party, which over the years I feel like have fallen apart. I mean, for example, an interesting case of that is the state party doesn't seem too interested in me for their nominee for governor because somebody's last name is Taft. It seems more like a popularity contest. You understand what I'm trying to say?
You're saying another libertarian who wants to run for governor, last name is Taft, and they're getting behind him?
Yes, mostly because his last name is Taft. Because if your last name is Taft in Ohio, you can be elected God pretty much.
Huh. Okay.
Taft was
that was a president, right?
Yeah, a pretty good one.
And a governor.
As far as, small government presidents go within the 20th century.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, one of the problems with group action is that not everyone in the group's going to agree.
His animal was the possum.
Possum?
His animal? That's what he had, a pet possum in the White House?
No, Teddy Roosevelt made the teddy bear, and Taft came right after him. Sort of the bear. Teddy Roosevelt popularized the teddy bear.
Yeah. And so he popularized a possum?
Well, I mean, they needed after Teddy Roosevelt had a teddy bear, then the next president had to have an animal.
More coming up here in moments. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, Free Talk Live.
Warning. If you've recently declared bankruptcy, you're going to want to cover your ears, because there's an alternative to bankruptcy, and it could be better than you'd ever think possible. But if you've already declared bankruptcy and have missed this opportunity, you'll want to cover your ears now. Here it is. Right now, the company that has resolved more credit card debt than anyone in the U.S. may be able to settle your debt too. You could resolve your debt with one low monthly program payment. If you call right now and qualify, Freedom Debt Relief will show you how low your monthly program payment could be for free. Call now, 1-800-660-1581. That's 1-800-660-1581. If you're struggling with debt, this could be your answer. And the bigger your debt, the more money you could save. To find out for free how much of your hard-earned money Freedom Debt Relief could help you save, call now. 1-800-660-1581. 1-800-660-1581. 1-800-660-1581.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-765-9681 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-765-9681. Again, that's 800-765-9681.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu. 641-793-9660. Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial on in toll free. Join us right here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and the Skype username is LRN.FM. It's Ian Johnson and Mark in the studio tonight. And there's big Dash news coming out of New Hampshire. We've been talking a lot about Dash, the digital cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, private, and easy. Fees are low, and transactions are fast and can even be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime, for pennies on the dollar. Dash is decentralized. It's run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. Now, one of the things that was pointed out here in this big news piece by Derek J., former co-host here on Free Talk Live, he's blogging over at freekeene.com, is that people have been getting more interested in Dash, but until now, acquiring Dash meant you had to acquire like Bitcoin first, and then you had to trade the Bitcoin for Dash. Most of the time, that's what most people were doing to acquire their Dash. That's what I've done to get some Dash. I've traded Bitcoin for Dash. And of course, when you do that, you've got to pay a Bitcoin fee, and the Bitcoin fees are insane right now. So what if you could get Dash for cash? What if you could use the old ugly money, the stuff you got, the greenbacks in your wallet, and put those into a vending machine, and then out comes Dash? Well, now you can if you're on the seacoast of New Hampshire. Derek J. and his boyfriend, partner, Steven Zeiler,
partner in crime,
Zeiler, they've had their Bitcoin vending machine in operation now for several months out there on the seacoast in the Seacoast Repertory Theater. But as of this week, officially, I guess, as of today, that machine now offers Dash to people who would like to. So you can purchase two different types of cryptocurrency. And this is not, I'm sure it's not the first machine that can do this anywhere in the world, but it's definitely the first one in New Hampshire. It's probably the first one in all of New England. And I think you're going to see more of this over time as, from what I understand, the Dash network, which is an incredibly smart group of people because they are taking a portion of their proceeds from mining Dash into existence, and they're spending that on promoting Dash. So instead of it all just going to the miners and into the miners' pockets, they're using their governance structure to make proposals. And one of those proposals has been that the back end of a lot of Bitcoin vending machines and Bitcoin ATMs will be upgraded to be able to handle Dash. So you're likely going to see more. Like, this is probably going to be the beginning of a trend, I would guess, because a lot of people are getting tired. They're getting tired of paying the Bitcoin fees, and they're looking for other options. And if they're going to go buy something from a vending machine, a Bitcoin vending machine, and then there's Dash there as an option for them, why bother jumping through the Bitcoin hoops first? Why not just go straight from cash into Dash?
And it may very well give them the opportunity to learn about Dash.
So, and I love Steven Zeiler's quote here. Until now, it was only possible to get Dash in exchange for another digital currency. Now people can retire their dirty old Federal Reserve notes into the machine where they'll be shredded. Just kidding. So, yeah, currently one Dash is running just under $200 US. And, of course, recently also in New Hampshire, Governor Chris Sununu, as Derek J. points out, signed legislation extending protection to businesses that use digital currency, protecting them from regulation, making it the most cryptocurrency-friendly state in the union. So big news from the Dash scene here. If you want to learn more about Dash and the momentum behind it, go to dash.org and find out more about Dash. Dash.org. As we go back to Stefan, he's in Ohio. He's frustrated with the Libertarian Party there. They're not doing things the way you think that they should be doing them, Stefan. And one of the things that you'll learn, and you are learning, and you're still fairly young. You're 18, correct?
Yeah, going on 19.
So one of the things you'll learn that relatively quickly here within the Libertarian Party is that people just don't get along. And if you get 30 people together in a group, there's likely going to be splinters and fractures, schisms within that group, major fallouts and disagreements. And it's a real challenge to get people to come together and work cohesively on a particular issue, because everybody's always criticizing the way whoever it is that's in charge is doing something.
Yeah, I mean, they don't use the term cat herder to describe people in charge of libertarian organizations for nothing.
Oh, yeah. And I guess it's just because a lot of the time there's no real solid definition, a lot of people would think, on what a libertarian is. Some people that describe themselves as a libertarian won't agree with you guys, for example. Like, Austin Peterson considers himself a libertarian, but he's radically different than, like, Daryl Perry, for example.
Austin Peterson was running against Daryl Perry. Daryl's one of our co-hosts here on Free Talk Live.
He's not radically different. I would.
He's very radically different. Austin Peterson advocates for the abolishment of the non-aggression principle.
That's not radically different.
That's very radically
point.
Different. No, that's an incredible radical difference, Mark, because that's the foundational principle of the Libertarian Party. You've got a guy claiming to be a libertarian, this Austin Peterson character, who wants to abolish the non-aggression principle, which is the ground, level principle that the party was founded on. So he wants to essentially eviscerate and gut any kind of principle and meaning from the Libertarian Party. That is a radical difference.
It is a radical difference in the sense that radical means to the root, right? And if you want to
and he wants to cut the root out.
That's correct.
Yeah.
But radical, I think, in most people's usage means he disagrees on nearly every issue, which is
he disagrees on a lot of issues.
Go watch,
including the most important one.
Go watch there's whole bunches of debates.
I got better things to do.
Well, that's because you don't want to know the truth.
No, I've seen enough. I've seen enough of him.
Yeah,
I've talked to Daryl.
Peterson is awful.
I'm not claiming that he's the best libertarian on the planet.
Or even a libertarian. That would be a very fair claim to make.
By definition, he's not a libertarian.
Well, by your definition.
Yeah, the definition of the non-aggression principle. You go look up libertarian, and I think you're going to find that. That's not just my definition, Mark.
I will not use political. What's the statement?
Yeah, I don't know. It's basically you not initiate force, political or
won't initiate force or advocate the initiation of force to achieve political or social goals.
That's definitely not Austin Peterson.
And this is what I'm witnessing now is an example of some people just can't come together on what a definition of a libertarian is. I would agree that yes, the non-aggression principle is the founding principle of the party. But the platform of the party, it seems like not a lot of people can agree with that. Austin Peterson is very adamant that he's a libertarian. And some people would agree with that.
But you're not a libertarian, Mark. You are a Republican, so your opinion really doesn't matter.
Oh, well, are you a libertarian?
Yep. I'm a signed member of the New Hampshire Libertarian Party.
But didn't you give up your National Libertarian Party status?
Yep, and I still have given that status up.
I've signed up for the Libertarian Party's free membership that we gave
you did? Good for you.
lp.freetalklive.com.
Yeah, did you renew it?
I don't think I have to because it hasn't been a full year.
Oh, okay.
But nonetheless, I get their newsletter. That's all I really wanted to get, see what's going on, and that's fine by me. To
be fair, though, my opinion doesn't count because I'm not a libertarian.
I don't know why.
I'm an anarcho-capitalist, and I find libertarian to be very unprincipled.
And sorry, go ahead, Mark.
They've been fighting about this in the Libertarian Party for a long time. I mean, I've been a libertarian since I was basically 18.
Right.
And
it wasn't an exciting debate then, so I'm not going to perpetuate it. I just want to make sure that people are clear
perpetuating
that
it, all right.
only, Ian's got an opinion. It's the only opinion that ever counts ever. Is not a valid
it's not just my opinion. It's the opinion of a bunch of libertarians who've been involved for a long time.
The radical caucus of the Libertarian Party, and the fact that the Libertarian Party needs a Libertarian caucus is both laughable and telling.
It's telling that the party has been infiltrated by a bunch of unprincipled hacks for a long time, which is why you get people like Austin Peterson and Gary Johnson as leading vote getters in the presidential nomination.
I can't do anything in the Republican Party, but I can be a celebritarian.
Yep, that's right.
And that's why that's why I think we can't get things done. It's like what happened to the Reform Party back in 2000. Pat Buchanan and his other failed Republican goons came in and hijacked the party and absolutely drove it into the ground, basically. And that's what's happening to the Libertarian Party. And I think when you have people like that, that's why we can't get things done.
Well, the Libertarian Party hasn't been driven into the ground. I mean, arguably,
has it ever all gotten off the ground?
The Gary Johnson campaign did bring it more votes. It probably did bring it more attention. And you could say that there are probably some people out there who have learned what the principles of liberty are because they found the Libertarian Party through Gary Johnson. But there's also a lot of people out there who are confused as hell as to what a libertarian is because they might have had one idea, but then Gary Johnson's up there saying something completely different and something unprincipled. And then they're wondering, well, what does it really mean to be a libertarian? Is it whatever Gary Johnson says? No. What it means to be a libertarian is you don't approve of the initiation of force to achieve political or social social goals. Period. That's the end of the story. And I would say that to anybody who's frustrated with the National Libertarian Party, you really need to get up to New Hampshire and get involved up here. And thank you for the call, Stefan. We've got probably the most principled Libertarian Party here in New Hampshire, and we're about to announce within the next week or so a third representative in the New Hampshire state reps. It's going to flip to Libertarian.
I've discovered the next big thing on the internet. Symbi.com is a symbiotic economy with its own currency where people trade services virtually and locally. Forget the old economy. This is your economy. Symbi.com is slick to use and is backed by the same people that helped launch Reddit and Airbnb. I'm not kidding when I say this is the next big thing. Trust me. Go get an account at Symbi.com. Take a look around and post your services. Symbi, SIMBI.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, June 13th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.85 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,264 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 1.7 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,711. Antiwar.com reports with nearly claim to independence is recognized by a lot of nations, but by no means all of them. Their government is dominated by ethnic Albanian factions from the southern part of Kosovo, groups which remain hostile towards neighboring Serbia, and have tried to militarily prevent the Kosovar Serbs from trading across the border. How long independent Kosovo remains is anyone's guess, however, as a number of Albanian factions, including some within Kosovo, envision the creation of a greater Albania, which would envelop Albania, Kosovo, and parts of neighboring countries with Albanian minorities. Indeed, it was just over a month and a half ago that Albanian Prime Minister Rama suggested Albania ought to unify by annexing Kosovo outright, a comment which fueled warnings by Serbia, which does not recognize Kosovar independence, that such a bid would lead to war. When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. UPI reports the newest member of the U.S. House of Representatives pled guilty on Monday to assaulting a reporter and must now undergo anger management counseling. Congressman-elect Greg Gianforte pled to a misdemeanor count of assault in Gallatin County, Montana court on Monday. The charge stemmed from a confrontation the then Republican candidate had with journalist Ben Jacobs on May 24th, the day before Montana held its special election to replace Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke in the state's at-large district. Gianforte Vorthe said in court on Monday, "I grabbed his wrist, a scuffle ensued, and he was injured. It was not my intention to hurt him." The judge called Gianforte's actions totally unacceptable and sentenced him to a deferred 6-month sentence, 40 hours of community service, and 20 hours of anger management. If he complies with the terms of the sentence, he could have the charge dismissed later this year. An attorney for Gianforte said the congressman has paid Jacobs nearly $5,000 in restitution. Even with the controversy, Gianforte won the special election with 50% of the vote over Democrat Rob Quist and Libertarian Mark Wick on May 25th in the state's historically GOP at-large district. Gianforte will take office later this month. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports President Donald Trump suffered another legal setback on Monday as a second federal appeals court refused to revive his travel ban on people entering the United States from 6 Muslim-majority countries in a dispute headed to the U.S. Travelers from Libya, Iran, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. The Ninth Circuit Court largely left in place a nationwide injunction by Judge Derek Watson that stopped parts of the order, which Trump said was urgently needed to prevent terrorism in the United States. That ruling came in a lawsuit challenging the order brought by the state of Hawaii, which stated the ban would harm its universities and tourism industry. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Following today's press conference in which NASA announced its continuing search for a planet capable of supporting NASA, researcher Dr. Kenneth Heiser sat down with Onion reporters to detail their ongoing mission to find a NASA-habitable planet.
Our objective is to find a planet capable of nurturing not just life, but also a sustained interest in the exploration of the cosmos. Such a planet would need to have water and proximity to light and heat, but also life forms with even the vaguest understanding of the importance of astronomical exploration. Ultimately, this would need to be a planet with organisms that have a genuine interest in expanding the limits of their knowledge.
Heiser added that any planet capable of supporting NASA would need to be able to generate a steady stream of financing to meet the agency's $18 billion annual budget.
The important thing is we just need to be patient. There's a limitless number of planets in the universe, and eventually we'll find one with the resources to support our work. We just have to, right?
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever's on your mind. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. As protesters apparently yesterday set the Supreme Court on fire in Venezuela, which maybe things are coming to a head there. Maybe things are about ready to change.
Why is it it's so shocking, the idea that one might set the Supreme Court on fire in the United States, but setting it on fire in Venezuela just gives my heart a little lift?
Oh, I would laugh, too, if they set it on fire in the United States. I think that'd be hilarious.
I can't say I feel the same way.
As long as nobody dies, just burn the building down.
Certainly don't want to see anybody die.
So anyway, we can talk more about that. Your calls and thoughts are certainly welcome.
Is it because the rule of law in Venezuela has clearly broken down and mostly been broken down by the government itself, and that the Supreme Court there has authorized it on more than one occasion, that, I just hear this little leap, yay!
Could be.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
The Supreme Court definitely has been behind some of the power grabs involved in Nicolas Maduro's administration there. So we can talk more about that. Also, the Thin Blue Line has appeared on one of the streets in Keene, and Keene, New Hampshire is where we do the show from. And it's basically a worshipful thing towards the police. They've painted a blue line down the middle of the street, which is the same street that leads to the police station. So it goes from the heart of downtown Keene all the way sort of east into the police station area. So it covers the whole street, and it's really quite ugly. It's really garish. Like, it's bright, it's obnoxious. And Johnson, you wanted to cover this story because, obviously it's being sort of put out there in the news media like, we love our police, and that's why we've painted this blue line on the street. Isn't it nice? But it turns out that it might actually be illegal what the city of Keene has done, Johnson.
That is correct. So I have here a letter. Well, I don't know. How do we want to approach this? Do we want to talk about the story as it was written here locally first?
Sure, why not? I mean, I haven't read that yet, so.
Okay, let me go ahead and read that.
This is from the Keene Sentinel, the local newspaper, the only newspaper here. Keene is a town of about 25,000. They call it a city, but it's only got about 23.
It's a large town, small city.
25,000 people in it.
So the article is titled "City Paints Blue Line to Show Appreciation for the Police Department."
Because they don't get enough appreciation.
Yeah, of course not.
With the $280,000 Bearcat, this tank device that they received.
Like what, multi-million-dollar military
constant grants from the federal government and other places, just giving money to the police department.
They risk their lives as though risking your life is something completely out of the ordinary.
It's okay. So
do roofers.
The risking your life is that's the first immediate and easy step. Okay?
Mailmen have been known to die from dog attack. It has happened.
I hate the easy answer. I believe the easy answer is given by people who don't spend much time thinking about something. I'm a firefighter. As a matter of fact, I was out on a call today. I don't think my life was really risked, but even if you're standing by the road directing traffic, you're risking your life. Then my life was risked.
Okay. That's probably a higher risk than a lot of the things you do.
Well, I would give this little piece of advice to people is don't text and drive.
No doubt.
Nonetheless, is next you're going to see, and you've seen them, right? The thin red line stickers.
No.
Oh, well, I see them. Maybe it's because I'm a firefighter.
Yeah.
So, the firefighters, not to let the police have their own little
they got their own gang
thing,
symbol.
They got a thin red line sticker, which is just a black field with a red line across it, just like the police one is a black field with a blue line across it.
Line.
And if you want to have stickers on your car, it's not like the the fire department, firefighters didn't have the firefighters union.
Oh, they already had their plates and things like that too. There's usually like fire regalia all over firemen's vehicles.
It's a great way to identify yourself and your family.
Hey, brother.
Yep, right. Is a cop repellent essentially.
Oh, is it? Cops will leave you alone if you're a fireman?
Well, I mean, I think you're going to have a better time if you've got the stickers and all that stuff.
Yep.
If your turnout gear's right there in the car with your helmet sitting on, just saying, I'm guessing it's probably going to be better.
You're going to get some professional courtesy, is what you're saying.
But, and of course, my professional courtesy is all burnt up, I'm sure. But the thing I'm concerned with here is if you go painting different colors on the road, those lines are on the road for a reason. They communicate things to people.
Mm-hmm.
And do you want people wondering what the blue line on the road is for, or what now the red line on the road is for, or the new green line to for the Parks and Rec guys?
There's no
or
explanation.
Whichever. Right. That's the thing is that people aren't going to necessarily know what the line in the middle of the road is all about.
Right.
And
can I turn here? Can I cross over this line?
Right.
It's blue.
Mean, do you want them spending a whole bunch of time trying to figure that out?
So clearly it's a handicap parking space.
Right. So,
clearly what a resident should do is park their vehicle there.
Right there in the middle of the road.
Right there in the middle of the road. And if somebody hits it, then they should sue the city for making an unclear designated handicap spot.
If you want to thank police, then donate to the the police department's union. Okay.
Yep. They'll give you.
It's too bad we didn't know enough people with like handicap spots to literally go take the vehicles and cover the entire road with parked handicap.
It is a long
vehicles.
road though.
Yeah. Just park them every 10 feet or so, But so I'm gonna have a little break point in this article because there is a point that I didn't comment on originally on this, where there is some massive cognitive dissonance right in the middle of this article, and I need to point it out. So
all right.
I will break there to interject the explanation of this massive.
Yeah, I want to hear this because I haven't read this yet.
Okay, so the thin blue line, this. Blue line. The blue line starts at the beginning of Marlborough Street after the roundabout on Main Street. It continues between the street's two yellow no passing lines and ends just before the intersection at Optical Avenue, right
That's
at
the whole thing.
Keene
The whole
police
thing.
department.
Got to be close to a mile.
Yep.
It's long.
Where it ends is no coincidence. Keene Ward 5 councilor Philip N. Jones, who first proposed painting the line last fall, wanted the city's police officers to be able to see it every day. They have to drive down that road every day to go to work, he said. The freshly painted line on Marlborough Street is meant as a sign of respect and appreciation for the city's police officers, Jones said.
As though they don't have enough trophies and other crap.
Yeah. I'm sure they just prefer a raise in their paycheck. That's what the police in Manchester
We should just pay them unlimited amounts of money. There's no amount of appreciation that we could possibly ever.
Their life's on the line, right?
How many boxes of donuts would this line, all the paint that they had to pay for this job, what would that have purchased? You could have gotten them donuts every weekend.
$500 worth of. It's about that. That's what they claim
Really?
it costs. Yeah.
Yeah. So that in Manchester today, the firefighters union just was demanding the same raise the police department got. So this is the thing: is it takes municipal services to break a village.
Well, the freshly painted line on Marlboro Street is meant as a sign of respect and appreciation for the city's police officers, Jones said. City Councilor at Large Randy Filliard echoed the sentiment. It's a visual reminder that every day the city and its people have the officers' backs and always will, he said. I love how they speak for everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
The phrase...
You're not one of the city's
people. Here we go.
people.
Cognitive dissonance time. The phrase thin blue line originated from a 1988 film about a man convicted and sentenced to death for the murder of a Dallas police officer that it turns out he didn't commit. Oh, yeah, that's right. This movie was Serpico. Oh, what was the thin blue line actually about? Oh, the thin blue line is actually the same term as what's called the blue wall of silence. Let's go to Wikipedia, shall we? Oh, the blue wall of silence, also the blue code, also the blue shield, are terms used in the United States to denote the unwritten rule that purportedly exists among police officers to not report on a colleague's errors, misconducts, or crimes, including police brutality. If questioned about an incident of alleged misconduct involving another officer during the course of official inquiry while following the code, the officer being questioned would claim ignorance of another officer's wrongdoing or claim to have not seen anything.
I don't recall.
Essentially, the thin blue line is a representation of police corruption. So whenever you see a blue line on the back of someone's car, it means that they're supporting a gang.
Yes, it's absolutely a gang symbol. They are either police themselves, family of police, or
somebody who doesn't want a ticket,
or somebody who believes that it's going to get them out of a ticket. But it doesn't really. From what I've heard, the cops are kind of on to that. So your mileage may vary if you try that approach.
But no, this idiot at the Sentinel goes on to say, in that sense, it's thought that the line represents the precarious nature of the work of police officers, the fine line between the edge of life and death. More broadly, it has come to serve as a way to honor law enforcement officers who have died in the line of duty and to support those actually serving. Do you know how low risk being a police officer actually is?
Well, it's not super low risk, but it's not in the top 10.
It's pretty super low risk.
We're going to continue in moments, and you can share your thoughts on the thin blue line at 855-450 free.
Have you ever thought you'd like to flip houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? Are you ready to be your own boss so you can start living the good life? Hi, I'm Preston Ely. I used to be so broke. I had my electricity turned off 9 times, but I figured out a way to quit my job and find financial freedom in real estate. For a limited time, I want to send you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It shows you how to copy exactly what I did so you can make money from the comfort of your own home without even doing any manual labor. I've already given away 5,000 books and they're going fast. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-958-9256. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. It's short, fun to read, easy to understand, and awesome. To find out how to get your free book while supplies last, call 1-800-958-9256. Call 1-800-958-9256. 1-800-958-9256.
BuySellMakeOffer.com is better than ever. I'm Pat Matthews here to tell you that BuySellMakeOffer.com, the revolutionary site for buying and selling anything and everything, just upped the ante. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and click the Sign Me Up button. When you do, you'll get the first month free, and then it's just $9.95 a month to be a member forever. And you don't need a credit card for the initial setup. Create your own store on the site and sell whatever you want, as long as it's legal, however you want, and sell an unlimited number of items. Create your own intro video to describe what your store is all about. Use Skype to see who you're buying from or selling to. Sell unused household items, as well as antiques, cars, televisions, collectibles, real estate. The possibilities are unlimited. Use social networks to promote your store right from our site. Remember, there are never any fees no matter how much you sell. Become a member today. I'm a member. Get all your friends to sign up too. This could become a great business for you. Sell whatever you want for the first 30 days free at BuySellMakeOffer.com.
If you're looking for work, there's a piece of paper more important than your resume. It's the cover letter attached if you're snail mailing, or the email to which you attach your resume. Make it 4 short paragraphs. Paragraph 1, say that you're applying for work. The person you're sending to gets a ton of mail about all sorts of things. If you have a password, that's your first sentence. Tom Nelson tells me you and I should meet. Paragraph 2, what you do and how that relates to the opening. Be as specific as possible. Paragraph 3, why you want this particular job. I'm originally from Boston, so I know the market well. I have family and friends in the area, so this would be a homecoming for me. Paragraph 4, unless the job posting stipulates no calls, and I will call you to follow up. Thank you in advance for your time. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, dial toll free. Join us right here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, you've got Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
Bitcoin.com. They have been reporting on the latest in the Bitcoin fee scandal. I don't know what you want to call it. The controversy, the conflict that has been going on behind the scenes with Bitcoin, and you can go to bitcoin.com to get the latest by going to news.bitcoin.com. If you just go to bitcoin.com, you'll kind of get an introduction to Bitcoin. You can learn more about what Bitcoin is and how you can get a wallet and get started with Bitcoin. Bitcoin.com has the latest in their news section. In fact, Daryl was just recommending one of the stories over there at news.bitcoin.com. Let's see here. I'll pull it up as we speak. But if you want to learn more about Bitcoin, it's a great site to go to. You can even play games with your Bitcoin at games.bitcoin.com. Oh, yeah, the headline here from today, the hidden reason behind Bitcoin's increasing fees, they're claiming, is darknet mixers, which means that people are trying to put their Bitcoin into these mixers, which they then believe that those mixers will provide some level of anonymity for them. And then on the other end of the mixer, they would take that Bitcoin out and then perhaps put it into one of the darknet marketplaces, which would possibly result in them purchasing things like drugs, for instance, like the Silk Road offered. And there's more details here about what the claim is, that how, I mean, it just on its face, it seems hard to believe that there'd be that much mixing going on for darknets.
How would that drive up the fees?
Oh, because you're moving a bunch of Bitcoin around.
Okay.
So, therefore, you got to pay fees every time you move Bitcoin from one to another. And that's without me having read the story, Mark. That's just the headline over at news.bitcoin.com. So you want to get the latest on what's happening in the Bitcoin universe, that's the best place to go. News.bitcoin.com. As we go to your calls and thoughts. More about the thin blue line here in moments, the gang symbol that you normally would only see on the backs of like vehicles driven by police, like off-duty vehicles and their family members. But now it's painted all the way down hundreds of feet, thousands of feet probably down one of the main drags here in Keene, New Hampshire.
But Keene isn't the first city to have done this. They copied the idea from some New Jersey cities, apparently. And Johnson, you've got some more on that story coming up. You can share your thoughts with us. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, let's go to Jarls. He's in California. Jarls, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian Johnson and Mark.
Well, hello, fellows. On the Bitcoin thing, I think Janet Yellen is shaking in her pantsuit because the Federal Reserve is going to be, tested with this little coin.
You think so?
But,
I mean, it's hard to believe that if they really believe that, don't you think they have done something about it at this point?
I don't think they can. I think there's going to be a change in the monetary system.
All right.
Well, I appreciate that optimism. I don't know if it's, I don't know how long it's going to be before the Federal Reserve feels they need to respond in some way. At this point, they are ignoring cryptocurrency at the Federal Reserve level. So, when they'll feel the need to do something about that, I don't know. Right now, Bitcoin and all the altcoins combined are about $110 billion, which is a big number, no doubt about it. But in comparison to, the world's fiat currencies is a drop in the bucket.
I wouldn't propose to report. People look at you as a journalist. I wouldn't propose to report that the Federal Reserve is ignoring Bitcoin. You don't know what they're doing to Bitcoin, and
I'm not a journalist. I'm a talk show host.
Deep in it.
You guys haven't heard of FedCoin?
That sounds kind of familiar. What is it?
FedCoin is the government Bitcoin that they're attempting to. Essentially, the U.S. is going to issue an e-currency.
Yeah, I remember hearing something about that. I never really saw that went anywhere. Maybe they're still working on it. Of course, it's the government, so it'll probably take them another decade before they actually end up.
It'll be before, like when it's about time where it's completely would be irrelevant.
Yeah, what I mean, Mark, is that there hasn't been any evidence necessarily that the Federal Reserve is going to do anything except for this FedCoin thing, which I had forgotten about.
Well, yes, we shall see in the future. But speaking of using your money wisely, have you seen the new Flat Earth billboard in Philadelphia?
A what billboard?
Right. There's it says "Research Flat Earth" right when you're leaving and coming to the airport.
Oh, so somebody with some flat Earth kook's got some money together, huh?
Well, I don't know if he's a kook, but it's smart.
Pretty
putting
much.
it near the airport. Well, if you put it near the airport,
it is true. It's smart to put it near the airport.
Yes, because I'm wondering, it's getting very big lately. It's getting on the news channels, and I'm wondering.
Must be a slow news day.
Just gonna. Oh, you haven't been seeing the news, huh?
I don't watch the news.
He doesn't know.
Oh, that's okay.
I think I've seen this billboard though. On I think somebody saved it on Facebook.
I have the internet, so I don't have to watch the news. I can pick whatever news sources I want to. I don't have to trust some editor to make the decisions for me. It's pretty sweet.
Did you guys look into the Earth being a stationary level plane yet?
My God, no. We had a bunch of phone calls from the flat earthers a few months ago, and it was just unending nonsense.
I think they're just called Earthers now because that's what Earth is.
So I guess the question I would have is they're sending out these satellites, right? And they're sending back pictures.
No, it's all a scam, Mark. It's all.
Oh well, if you want something fascinating, NASA has used so much helium in their days. And if you look at all the balloons that they send up, it is very interesting that they put the same kind of reflectors on their balloons. And they actually have solar crafts that can stay up for 5 years. So
how is it possible that cats haven't knocked everything off the edge of the planet?
Well, what if the edge of the planet is contained or it keeps going? What if we can't find the edge?
What's on the other side?
What?
Oh, it's a very good question. It's very good. Maybe, I don't know, because the Kola hole goes 9 miles.
The what?
So really, the Kola hole, it's the deepest hole on Earth, they say. 9 miles is a long way.
Yeah.
Does it go all the way through?
If it's a globe, then it should, right? So if you're digging a hole down. Well,
if it's a globe, it should be like 6,000.
If you're digging a hole down on a sphere, would you be digging up to people on the other side?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep, you would.
So that's what you believe, is that...
Well, I don't believe anybody's ever dug a hole all the way through, so...
Considering there's supposed to be a molten core, it'd be real hard to do that.
Yes, in the middle, there would be a molten core.
But if you were telling a lie about a spherical Earth, of course you'd put a molten core in the middle, so no one would dig through.
No,
Yeah, and you need to dig. You need to dig about 4,000 miles down before you would get.
Right.
The reason why nobody, with any sense, is going to spend any time researching this is because there's enough people out there who've seen the curvature of the Earth. There's enough solid evidence that the Earth is spherical, and a bunch of kooks on the internet who bought a billboard doesn't mean jack.
No, but it gets people talking because there are a lot of people that don't see it. It's kind of like, remember the gold dress, the gold watch?
The thickest part of its crust is about 25 miles on the continents.
Mm-hmm.
But like I was saying, in order to get to the core, the center of the Earth, you'd have to be about 4,000 miles in. So
there's more coming up here. You can share your thoughts on Free Talk Live.
Do you know what's lurking in your water? More than 200 contaminants could be sitting there, just waiting for your glass. With a ProPure water filter, start enjoying clean and great-tasting water today. ProPure filters, independently tested, latest water filter technology. ProPure systems do not require electricity and are easy to set up and easy to use. To find out more, visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Free Talk Live.
Who is playing dress up as a guess?
Superhero.
Ninja.
Yeah.
A border ninja.
See, that would be the problem. Somebody else would dress up like a pirate, and then there would be a war.
Yeah. Just the pirates duking it out.
Wait, well, now what do the pirates have against ninjas?
Ninjas and pirates are like matter and antimatter. They can't be together.
Okay.
I have a feeling the ninjas would just whoop it up on the pirates.
Are you kidding? Pirates. Pirates, man.
Oh, the pirates do have cannons. They have the long-range attack ability, but once you get in close...
It's hard to be tougher than a pirate, though.
The pirates are certainly tough, but the agility I don't think is there.
Lose
they sit around on a
lose
ship
a
all day.
hand, lose a leg, you can still get 200 people to be afraid of you as you stomp around with half of your, an eye patch, one hand, one leg. You stomp around half a person, and you're still commanding 200 people.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty.
Sell411.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever's on your mind. You can take control of the airwaves here at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. With you in the studio tonight It's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
So you can bring up whatever you want to discuss. We're going to get back into the thin blue line here in moments. But was there more, Johnson, on the flat Earth thing that you wanted to share? Or were you? I know you brought something up.
That was just that little factoid about the fact that the crust of the Earth is actually remarkably thin.
Gotcha.
You know, factoids aren't true.
That's
it's
the definition of it. Yeah,
it's like truthy.
Yeah. It's become that.
It's right. It's transitioned from not true to small, like a small fact.
Yeah.
Because people just use it over and over that way, but it was sort of trotted out like the term.
Yeah, according
truthy.
to the definition, it's a brief or trivial item of news or information.
Yeah, but what's the second definition now?
Well, let's see.
From dictionary.com.
An assumption or speculation that is reported and repeated so often that it becomes accepted as a fact.
There you go.
Okay.
So that was at one point the definition.
It's something that resembles a fact.
The opposite of the definition.
Right.
So that is a word that means two opposing things.
Yep, that's confusing.
Yep.
All right, so we were talking about the thin blue line, and Johnson, you were getting pretty heated over the sort of the meaning of this symbol that many people are unaware of, but now it's kind of hitting the big time with here in Keene, New Hampshire, an entire road, the entire length of what's called Marlborough Street here, one of the main drags in Keene.
It's a street that leads to Marlborough.
Painted with the thin blue line down the middle of the street. So between the two yellow stripes, where there was nothing before, just the black top showing through, there's now a bright blue, super bright, periwinkle
robin's egg
blue, yeah, robin's egg, whatever, really obnoxiously bright. But I'm sure it's going to fade at some point, but
that's probably a reality. Yeah.
Right now, it's distracting when you're on that road.
It's exactly handicap space blue.
Oh, is it?
Is it? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
They had that in stock, right? So they just used that paint.
Exactly.
Okay.
The line was painted about a week ago, according to Keene Public Works Director Kurt D. Blomquist, though he didn't know the exact date. The project was completed by a contractor who's painting over all the lines on the city streets, as is done annually. Painting the blue line cost approximately $300 to $400, he said.
I would like to point out to the Southerners in the group that, yes, we have to paint our roads up here every single year because we cover them in salt and then drag sharp metal across the salty road in order to get the ice and snow removed. So, just one more reason why one has a smaller carbon footprint when one lives in the South where it doesn't snow.
Okay.
I'm skipping around here. The article, modern day, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going through because some of this is just details about.
So this was the city.
I didn't know the line was painted. The line was painted is like local newsy stuff.
Yeah.
City Council went on to approve the proposal in November. Jones first pitched the idea in a memo he submitted to the council in October. Modern day police personnel are working at an all-time high stress level. The blue stripe would
This'll calm them down.
A continuous reminder of the community appreciation for all that they do, the memo said. Jones and Filial said the factors, including the state's opioid crisis, have made policing more challenging than ever. Officers are also increasingly being targeted. Last July, a man in Dallas killed 5 police officers during a peaceful protest of protest of fatal police shootings of black men in Minnesota and Louisiana and everywhere else in the country where police are just executing people.
So because some cops in Dallas were targeted, that means that there's an increased risk to every police officer everywhere, even though nothing like that has happened in New Hampshire or, in this region.
Yeah, maybe the police should stop executing people, innocent or otherwise. And let's just go on and say they're innocent until they're proven guilty. So
I think that to some extent, if the thin blue line is this pejorative, as we pointed out in the last segment, right? Like this is the thin blue line is taken from the Serpico movie. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
And it is.
It is. And if you understand it to be differently, you're a moron, in my opinion.
Well, okay, but what it means is that police will get together in order to protect another police officer, even if that police officer is broken the law.
Right.
That sort of thing. So
us versus them.
On one hand, certainly no police officer would want to be lumped together with police officers that would protect a criminal. But on the other hand, they do
not publicly.
They do want to be lumped together. Apparently, I mean, that's the spin on this story. They do want to be lumped together with the police officers who've died in the line of duty from being shot by some madman in Dallas, right? Mm-hmm. So, like on one hand, no, we don't want anything to do with that. On the other, see, it's a department's a department. It's got its own own, sort of personality. It's got its own people. And police in Keene, New Hampshire really have little to nothing to do with police in Dallas, who have little to nothing to do with police in Bangladesh.
Sure.
Right? Like
Some
nobody
police
would compare the police in Keene, New Hampshire to the police in Bangladesh.
Some police don't even get along between like area departments. And what I mean by that is, there between, let's say, the sheriffs and the state police and the city police, those are three distinct departments, and there's some level of disdain or, teasing that goes on between those groups. Like they have like names that they call one another that are not friendly.
They do call it a brotherhood, and I suspect that's because they're allowed to make the jokes and you're not. That's how that is.
Right. More?
Yeah, sure. There's definitely more. Jones said he was inspired to bring a blue line to Keene after hearing about other towns and cities that have painted them in support for their local police. A meeting of the Municipal Services Facilities and Infrastructure Committees on October 12th, he said many communities across the country, including several in Ohio and 72 in New Jersey, okay, that I wasn't aware of, have painted similar lines. But he said in Keene's blue line is now the first to be painted for law enforcement in New England. I thought New Jersey was part of New England.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, New England is Rhode Island.
Oh, that's right. It's right. New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut are part of the tri-state area. That's right.
Connecticut's not New England?
Apparently
Connecticut is New England.
Connecticut is both part of the tri-state area and New England, I guess.
It would be, yeah. I think New England ends at New York, correct?
I suspect there's more than one tri-state area also.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
So the city councilor here is admitting that this is not an original idea, but he's claiming that it's the first in all of New England.
Right. Well, Blomquist here says he's concerned the blue line might confuse motorists. Blue lines are not
that's
coded
what my
for federal
concern
guidelines.
as a firefighter and just a regular citizen is that let's not just go painting a bunch of stuff in the middle of the road here to confuse people. Those lines mean things, and when you add new lines, you add confusion to the road.
What if somebody went out and just spilled a bunch of red paint over top of the blue line?
Yeah, well, I'm sure the firefighters would be the first to be blamed.
Or it just could be a symbolism of the police victims and the violence and the blood that has been
What if
spilled.
you just painted black over the blue line and just made it two double yellow lines? Or what if you took the black paint and every 5 feet you made it stripes so that you could just we're going to just change it so we can pass this.
And
on
they
this
need a
road.
dashed blue line.
Yeah, dashed blue line. Yeah, sure. Who knows? Well, let's
you'd get arrested if they caught you doing it. Likely.
Let's get into this letter here.
This is your letter?
This is from the United States Department of Transportation, Federal Highway Administration.
Okay, because you'd written something about this letter as well.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So let me address that real quick.
So you wrote a comment on this Sentinel, this police worshiping Sentinel story, which is pretty common. I mean, it's a small town politics thing. The newspaper is not going to get. They're not going to criticize.
Doesn't want tickets.
Right. They're not going to criticize the police. That's just not something they do.
So my comment on this was interesting that the city decided to violate the law outlined by the United States Department of Transportation and Federal Highway Administration when they clearly warned a few towns in New Jersey that this practice is illegal and that it creates unsafe road conditions because motorists don't know what this line means. It could result in lawsuits for the city if the unsafe condition results in any legitimate accidents or even quote-unquote accidents involving less scrupulous people.
Yeah. All it's going to take is for somebody to have a car accident and say, I didn't know what that blue line meant.
Good for the city of Keene, though, for adopting that rebellious free Keene spirit and willfully violating federal law.
Well, it's true. I mean,
it's Keene,
Free Keene is Ian's blog.
They're just adopting the spirit of Free Keene. I mean, it's about time they got on board.
So is that a letter to the editor?
I mean, if you can't beat them, join them, right?
It should have been, though.
They've been trying to beat you guys for so long with their lawsuits. And
you ought to convert that into a letter to the editor. They'll likely publish it. Yeah. They're actually pretty good at publishing most of the things they send. The toll-free number here tonight, 855-450, free like freedom. If you want to comment on the Thin Blue Line, it's Free Talk Live.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is digital cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime, for just pennies on the dollar. Get started at Dash.org. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. Join Dash and help us create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today. Find out more at dash.org and get your own Dash wallet today. That's dash.org.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-557-0158. That's 800-557-0158. Again, 800-557-0158.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Bring up anything you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And do want to let you know about Save It Purse. If you want to save 20% easily on the stuff that you buy at Amazon, just go to saveitpurse.com, saveatpurse.com. You go there, you can load up your Amazon. What you do is you go to Amazon, you load up your wish list, you import your wish list into saveitpurse.com, and then you get to select your discount. Maybe you want to save 20%. I've been able to save 20% within like a day. Somebody will snap up that purchase. If you want to save more, it might take a little while longer. If you shoot for 30% or more, you might be waiting like a week. But it's still possible. And if you want it to be instant, they even have Purse Instant where you can save 5%. You don't have to wait at all.
But in order to do Purse Instant, you have to kind of go about it a different way. You have to put the item directly into SaveItPurse.com rather than using the wish list. But it's awesome. I've been using Save It Purse for more than 2 years. I've done like 90 transactions, I think, or something like that. Saved over $1,700 off of the stuff that I would have paid full price for. But why not save 20% if you can? And you can by going to SaveAtPurse.com. So we were talking about this painted line going down the middle of the street here in Keene, New Hampshire. They claim it's the first one of its sort in all of New England. It's very worshipful of the police. It's, in my opinion, an embarrassment to the town, but the city councilors sure are happy about it. They want you to believe that everyone supports the police in what they do.
Well, these lines are all over the place in New Jersey. And
one of the most corrupt places in all of the United States as far as police corruption is concerned. And that goes right back to what Johnson was saying, is that this thin blue line is really a gang symbol. It's really a
representative of police corruption.
Yeah, now that's not what they want you to think about it. But that's where it came from, and that's ultimately what it is. Now, that's not to say that everything that the police do are bad. I do appreciate it when they get out there and they actually go after a real criminal, because every now and then
another cop. Oh wait, that almost never happens.
Yeah, no, I meant the other real criminals that sometimes they'll target. And in those instances, I will give them praise where the praise is due. But as long as they're arresting peaceful people for possession of cannabis or underage drinking or rolling through a stop sign or whatever it is that they're going after people for, then they deserve to be criticized. They don't deserve to be blindly worshipped, and that's what this whole thin blue line thing plays into. So, Johnson, you had commented on the newspaper article that apparently there's a letter that has been issued by the the Department of Transportation at the federal level? Who was it?
So this was from who was it from? This is actually officially from Mark R. Curley, Kerley. I'm not sure. It's Kehrli. Director of the Office of Transportation Operations for the U.S. DOT FHA. So Department of Transportation, Federal Highway Administration.
Okay.
And he writes in a letter dated December 8th, 2016.
Who was it sent to? The New Jersey cities?
It's sent to Matthew D. Loper, P.E., County Engineer, Somerset County Engineering Division, the Somerset in New Jersey. Yeah, okay. County Administration Building, 20 Grove Street, box 3000.
Moving on.
We don't need the whole address, Johnson.
Dear Mr. Loper, well, I just want you to know how official this particular letter
I'm sure it is.
Very official. Dear Mr. Loper, thank you for your October 14th letter regarding the use of a color marking between the lines. And remember, this is government to government, so it's like very governmenty.
Yeah.
Thank you for your October 14th letter regarding the use of a color marking between the lines of a double yellow center line marking. Your requested clarification on whether this type of installation would comply with the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices for Streets and Highways, MUTCD.
Oh, I bet that's a page turner.
Yeah. Section 3A.06 of the MUTCD states that the pattern
clearly,
states that the pattern of a longitudinal double line shall be two parallel lines separated by a discernible space. For this space between the two lines to be discernible, it must represent a lack of other markings.
It should contrast. And this particular installation, there's no contrast whatsoever. Right. It's bright yellow next to bright blue next to bright yellow, and it's obnoxious.
Accordingly, the pavement surface must be visible in the space between the lines in the same way that it is visible outside the lines. Mm-hmm. On this basis alone, filling in the gap in a double line, either partially or fully, does not comply with the provisions of the MUTCD. The exception herein is the use of black in combination with one of the approved pavement marking colors, as noted in Section 3A.05.
So if you paint black in the middle of the two yellow lines, that's the exemption.
Yeah. Further, in accordance with Section 3A.05 of the MUTCD, the use of blue pavement markings is limited to supplementing white markings for parking spaces for persons with disabilities. The use of blue lines as part of the center line markings does not comply with the provisions of the MUTCD. Further detail on the use of blue as a pavement color is provided in our August 15th, 2013 official ruling, 309-24I, application of colored pavement.
Wow.
And this is the further detail. Blue is not a colored pavement and is not to be used as such in accordance with paragraph 3, section 3G.01. Blue, as it applies to a pavement marking, is exclusively reserved for the background color in the international symbol of accessibility parking symbol.
Do you think that if you took this letter down to Keene Police Department and showed it to them, that they would go and arrest the city councilors who voted for it?
Unlikely. And I don't know what the enforcement is.
There's no
enforcement.
responsibility for voting, and this is
Right.
one of the
From the
things
bureaucrats
that I just think that the principled non-voters really just sort of don't get is that there's just no responsibility. Which one? If this passed, let me ask you. So how many city councilors are there?
15 in the city of Keene.
Let's say it passed by 9-6.
I do find myself wondering if it was unanimous. I don't know if they mentioned that in the original.
Whatever it might be. So let's say it's unanimous. Who would be responsible for it passing? Because it only has to pass from 8 to 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
So which of the additional 7 beyond the 8 are responsible for? I mean, are any of them responsible?
Presumably the people who voted against it would not be responsible.
Well, certainly the ones that voted against it would not be responsible, but how many of them that voted for it would be responsible?
I would presume all of them, if there were some responsibility, and you're right, there is not.
That might be some way to handle it, but if I was on the council and I voted for it, but I did it sort of with reservations. Well, I could have voted against it, and if I had voted against it, it still would have passed, right? Like, it wouldn't have made a difference other than the number that somebody typed down on in a news story someplace.
And you're right. Government bureaucrats or politicians specifically are never held responsible for illegal votes.
What I find particularly despicable, though, because there is one short paragraph here that it makes their decisions to ignore this in New Jersey and here in Keene particularly despicable. So what the
besides the fact that they're using handicap color to
besides
middle
that,
of the road,
I mean, but that is specifically outlined by these people. They say we appreciate the impact of expressing support for law enforcement officers and value their contributions to society. There are many appropriate and fitting ways to recognize the service to the public that do not involve the modification of a traffic controlled device, which can put the road user at risk due to the interpretation of its meaning. It is therefore critical that the uniformity of pavement markings be maintained so as to present a consistent message that accommodates the expectancy of road users. For record-keeping purposes, we have assigned your request to the interpretation of the following official ruling, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But, it just basically is showing, again, we are of a separate class. We are better than you. We don't care about your life or your safety on the road.
Right.
I mean, they're just basically saying you're scum and we're going to violate this because we just need to show how much we love the police. But what's great about this, I find funny now, is 3 things that this does to this road, right? Or to any road that has this blue line on it.
Yeah.
3 things. 1, if you are handicapped, you can park on anywhere on these roads. In the middle of the road, it is now, according to the federal traffic code, that's now a parking space. It's now a handicap parking space, and if they try and take you to court for it, sue them.
Well, I'm not a
beyond belief.
I don't have a handicap thing, so would I still get in trouble?
Probably.
Yeah,
you could.
probably would.
Yeah. I mean, you're also parking in the middle of the road.
But you're right.
So.
The Americans with Disabilities Act or whatever, ACA
right.
or whatever
Sue
it's called.
them. And okay, if you pass on this road, right? You're now, even though if it's supposed to be a double yellow line, guess what? They put a marking between it. It's no longer a double yellow line.
Now it's just a solid line.
According to this, it's a solid line.
It's a solid multicolor line.
It's not discernible 2 lines. It's not a double yellow line. It's no longer a double yellow line.
I think that if any traffic incident occurs in the street, you can be now claim to be confused.
Yeah, for sure.
And you could sue the city.
I thought that
it's
blue
making the
lines
city
meant,
a gigantic target for lawsuits.
Good.
I thought blue lines meant an extra 30 miles per hour.
And here's the third thing.
You could say anything.
If you are working on one of these roads and you work for a traffic, like one of these highway companies or whatever, you can now report and sue for violations of safety under OSHA. So you could report these working conditions and report your company and sue under unsafe working conditions.
Yeah.
I thought the blue line was a racing stripe. I could
Someone
go as fast as I
cross
want.
the line and plow into you while you're working on the road because they didn't know what it meant.
There's more coming up here. 855, 450 free.
Bitcoin.com is the most unique online destination in the Bitcoin universe. Buying Bitcoin? Do it here. Want to speak your mind to other Bitcoin users? Our forum is always open and censorship free at forum.bitcoin.com. There's no bigger Bitcoin believers than the Bitcoin.com team. That's why this site is a one-stop shop for everything you need to get into Bitcoin life. You can also play games at games.bitcoin.com. Learn more at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
There's no better app for tracking the value of cryptocurrencies than CoinCap. I've had a lot of apps for tracking Bitcoin, but none that's ever been able to track 500 digital assets at once. Their best feature is the Altfolio. I love this thing. You enter how many Bitcoins, Ether, Dash, Doge, or whatever else you have, and it tells you how much your crypto is worth. You can watch yourself get rich. If you have crypto, go right now to coincap.io, or you can use the Apple Store or Google Play to get the app. I love CoinCap. coincap.io.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, June 13th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.85 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,264 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 1.7 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,711. Antiwar.com reports with nearly complete results in, the Kosovar-Albanian coalition, calling itself the War Wing, is claiming victory in the general election of the disputed state of Kosovo, claiming that they have amassed a convincing victory in the vote. NATO attacked Serbia in 1998 and 1999, and at the end of the war declared Kosovo to be a UN protectorate. Prior to that, Kosovo was part of Serbia, and the ethnic Serbs in northern Kosovo continued to oppose their independence, which was formally declared in 2008. Heavily backed by NATO, Kosovo's claim to independence is recognized by a lot of nations, but by no means all of them. Their government is dominated by ethnic Albanian factions from the southern part of Kosovo, groups which remain hostile towards neighboring Serbia, and have tried to militarily prevent the Kosovar Serbs from trading across the border. How long independent Kosovo remains is anyone's guess, however, as a number of Albanian factions, including some within Kosovo, envision the creation of a greater Albania, which would envelop Albania, Kosovo, and parts of neighboring countries with Albanian minorities. Indeed, it was just over a month and a half ago that Albanian Prime Minister Rama suggested Albania ought to unify by annexing Kosovo outright, a comment which fueled warnings by Serbia, which does not recognize Kosovar independence, that such a bid would lead to war. When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. UPI reports the newest member of the U.S. House of Representatives pled guilty on Monday to assaulting a reporter and must now undergo anger management counseling. Congressman-elect Greg Gianforte pled to a misdemeanor count of assault in Gallatin County, Montana court on Monday. The charge stemmed from a confrontation the then Republican candidate had with journalist Ben Jacobs on May 24th, the day before Montana held its special election to replace Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke in the state's at-large district. Gianforte said in court on Monday. I grabbed his wrist, a scuffle ensued, and he was injured. It was not my intention to hurt him. The judge called Gianforte's actions totally unacceptable and sentenced him to a deferred 6-month sentence, 40 hours of community service, and 20 hours of anger management. If he complies with the terms of the sentence, he could have the charge dismissed later this year. An attorney for Gianforte said the congressman has paid Jacobs nearly $5,000 in restitution. Even with the controversy, Gianforte won the special election with 50% of the vote over Democrat Rob Quist and Libertarian Mark Wick on May 25th in the state's historically GOP at-large district. Gianforte will take office later this month. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports President Donald Trump suffered another legal setback on Monday as a second federal appeals court refused to revive his travel ban on people entering the United States from 6 Muslim-majority countries in a dispute headed to the U.S. Supreme Court. The San Francisco-based 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals used narrow grounds to reject the Trump administration's bid to undo a Hawaii federal court's decision blocking the temporary ban. It said the president's March 6th order violated existing immigration law, but the 3-judge panel did not address whether it was unconstitutional discrimination against Muslims. A second court, the Richmond, Virginia-backed 4th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, on May 25th upheld a Maryland judge's ruling that also blocked Trump's 90-day ban on travelers from Libya, Iran, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. The 9th Circuit Court largely left in place a nationwide injunction by Judge Derek Watson that stopped parts of the order, which Trump said was urgently needed to prevent terrorism in the United States. That ruling came in a lawsuit challenging the order brought by the state of Hawaii, which stated the ban would harm its universities and tourism industry. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Following reports that local full-blown alcoholic Ken Matheson has such great friends that let him drink himself to death right before their eyes, the 32-year-old man spoke to reporters during a typical evening of binging with his closest friends.
Man, these guys are like brothers to me. I don't know what I'd do without them.
The chemically dependent man, who can reportedly always count on his friends to look the other way, facilitate belligerent behavior, and encourage his self-destructive impulses, informed reporters that the members of his tight-knit circle are, quote, the best buddies a guy could ask for.
Can you just shut the fuck up? Seriously. Just shut the fuck up. And I lost back then. Keep going. What the fuck are you looking at? I love you, man. I love you.
Check this week's Onion Review for further developments.
I love you. Oh, God, I love everybody.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. Yes, we do have a cat in the studio. The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up absolutely anything that you want here on Free Talk Live. And we've got some interesting news coming out of Venezuela, where apparently the Supreme Court has been set on fire. So we've been talking about Venezuela for quite a while, watching as it just sort of spirals down the drain of socialism. And there have been people out in the streets protesting pretty constantly over the last several weeks, maybe even a couple months now at this point. And maybe things are finally coming to a head. Maybe we're getting closer to the government of Nicolas Maduro being ousted. Certainly, if they continue to set the government buildings on fire, the government's going to have a tough time governing.
Ultimately, that's going to make it be a decider.
And this is some of the things that have happened in other places. Remember the Arab Spring in Egypt from a few years ago? They had started setting buildings on fire during
Not that their government's markedly better today than it was then, mind you.
Good point. I mean, the military took over in that particular case, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, look at it today. Look at it under, what the hell is it? Mubarak?
Started with an M, yeah, Mubarak, I think.
Yeah.
Hosni.
Yep, Hosni and
Mubarak. Decide which one's better, because it isn't markedly so.
Anti-government protesters, according to The Telegraph, set fire to the Supreme Court in Caracas, Venezuela on Monday. This is the 12th week of upset in the country as protesters demand the resignation of President Nicolas Maduro and call for elections, which, by the way, Maduro has put off. They were supposed to have elections, like gubernatorial elections, last year. They didn't happen. He's saying he hopes that they can have it later on this year. The Supreme Court voted on Monday to reject a motion that would prevent Mr. Maduro from rewriting the country's constitution. Violence broke out in protests at the Supreme Court over a bid to change the constitution, and Venezuela's chief prosecutor on Monday said on Monday her family had been threatened and followed by intelligence agents since she split with the government. Fanned by anger at triple-digit inflation, along with shortages of food and medicine, protests have grown smaller but more violent over the past 2 months, with at least 67 killed and thousands injured. Luisa Ortega, a former ally of Maduro who has turned against him and the ruling Socialist Party, has questioned his handling of opposition street protests in recent weeks and challenged his plan to rewrite a constitution brought in by late leader Hugo Chavez. State officials have launched a series of verbal attacks on Ms. Ortega, ranging from questioning her sanity to accusing her of promoting violence. So she turned against the administration, and now they're out to get her.
All the better time to go get her.
She said she would hold the government responsible if her family were harmed. But how exactly do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you hold a rogue government responsible for anything?
You can sort of do it personally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you could say, I hold you responsible.
Right. I blame you, Mr. Maduro.
Right. I mean, that's what you can do.
Right. Ms. Ortega's office said it was investigating the death on Monday of a man called Socrates Salgado, age 49, in a coastal town near Caracas. Opposition politicians said he died during a protest. In April, Ms. Ortega successfully challenged a Supreme Court decision to assume the powers of the opposition-controlled legislature, making her the highest official in years to openly break with the ruling party. She filed a Supreme Court challenge last week to Maduro's plan to elect a legislative superbody known as a Constituent Assembly that will have the power to rewrite the Constitution and, in some cases, dissolve state institutions. So he wants a super body known as a Constituent Assembly. Do you think that'll be staffed with all supporters?
I imagine it will be.
Yeah. The People's Court or whatever, right? The People's Assembly. A Supreme Court
unbesmirchable panel of Maduro's supporters.
The Supreme Court rejected that challenge on Monday. So they rejected her challenge to Maduro's plan. There. The Electoral Chamber of the Supreme Court of Justice declares that the challenge filed by Luisa Ortega Diaz is inadmissible because it is an inept accumulation of pretensions, the court said on Twitter.
Hold on. The court tweets?
Apparently.
Inept collection of what?
An inept accumulation of pretensions.
All right.
In response, Ms. Ortega launched another legal challenge, this time claiming that 13 judges appointed to the court in 2015 were put there via an irregular process and that they should be replaced. Police arrested 24 people for their involvement in the daylight attack on a busy office block, which was condemned by Maduro as a terrorist act. Opposition leader Enrique Capriles said it was the work of government agitators. Because remember, as we've reported here, there are a couple distinct sides. There are at least 3 distinct sides in the conflicts that they've been having. There's the people, the anti-status quo people. They're being called anti-government, but they're not anti-government, likely, many of them. They're probably pro-government, just they don't like this government. So there's the anti-this government people who are the ones out there agitating in the streets, and they're trying to change things. They don't know how else to do it. There's Maduro and his troops, the police, the military, and then there's the Maduro-supported criminal gang members that are slightly different from the police. So, obviously a lot of us in the liberty community consider the police to be a gang, as we were just discussing in the last hour. But these are non-uniformed gang members. These are the ones that are just, your typical thugs who Maduro has been arming up so they can go after the protesters and that they can bust some heads without as much of a, an investigation as would normally receive. So outside the Supreme Court, and so that's the opposition leader, Enrique Capriles. This is the guy who's been banned from running for office for 15 years, I believe it was, in Venezuela.
Right. He was the opposition guy, and they, well, you can't run anymore.
That's right.
You've done too well.
Yeah, because he's so popular, they just don't want him running anymore. He said it was the work of government agitators, which was this daylight attack on the office block. So again, who was really behind it? Outside the Supreme Court headquarters in downtown Caracas, protesters backing Ms. Ortega were confronted earlier by government supporters. Maduro says Venezuela is the victim of an economic war and that can only be addressed by the Constituent Assembly. The Elections Council has set an election for the Assembly for July 30th. The opposition is refusing to participate in the vote, saying it is rigged in favor of the Socialist Party. And then somewhere amidst all this, the Supreme Court was set on fire yesterday, and I don't know how gutted the building ended up being, but it doesn't look good from some of the photos that they have here on this blog post over
The firefighters are probably pretty hungry and not really worried about putting out fires right about now.
Yep, you're probably right about that. And then in other related news, the city of Caracas, Venezuela, Breitbart reporting that even at Bogota Airport in Colombia, the closest major capital city to Venezuela, a look of curiosity comes over the faces of staff when you tell them you're heading to Caracas. Entry visas into Venezuela remain fairly accessible, although journalists are not allowed without a special visa. Although I claimed I was there as a tourist, this seemed far-fetched even to the likely pro-government immigration authorities. "What is the real motive of your visit?" the officer asked me. "Seeing my girlfriend," I replied. She smiled. "Welcome to Venezuela." As you travel down from Simón Bolívar International Airport into the city center, the difference between Caracas and Bogota, formerly one of the world's major drug war battlegrounds, is stark. Armed police stand on almost every street corner.
Where? Bogota or Caracas?
Presumably Caracas.
Okay.
Every physical space is dedicated to promoting the success of the late Hugo Chávez's socialist revolution and Nicolas Maduro's authoritarian regime. The opposition undermines official government propaganda with its own graffiti, effectively accusing the regime of destroying the country with the highest oil reserves in the world. The rise in anti-government messaging stands out compared to my last visit in November. Pro-government propaganda shares...
Is that 6 months ago?
Yep. Well, a little longer than that, but yeah.
Not much.
7 or 8 months. Pro-government propaganda shares the streets with graffiti denouncing the regime on nearly every block. So there's like a graffiti photo here that he took a picture of that's got a picture of Maduro. It's black and white, just black color paint. And it says, "This is the new Bolivarian toilet paper," a reference to Maduro's proposed changes to the Venezuelan constitution rejected by the people in a vote last year. Maduro is depicted holding the pocket constitution. More coming up here on Free Talk Live. Free Talk Live has partnered with Amazon, the largest internet retailer. Imagine a department store category, and Amazon has it. Books, electronics, office products, furniture, jewelry, automotive, toys, clothing, sporting goods, and dozens of other categories. Now you can shop and support Free Talk Live by entering Amazon through our website. Go to shop.freetalklive.com, and Amazon will send us a portion of your purchase. You're going to do the shopping anyway, so remember to enter through our site at shop.freetalklive.com. That's shop.freetalklive.com. You've said it yourself. We need a healthcare system that focuses on health, not sickness. Health insurance pays for treating sickness but gives you nothing for being healthy. There's a free market healthcare company that gives you freedom from health insurance. They give you a proactive health assessment daily, no charge 24-hour access to doctors. Check them out right now at healthexcellenceselect.com. Any kind of doctor, traditional, integrative, chiropractic, acupuncture, and massage. You'll love the service and price. healthexcellenceselect.com. healthexcellenceselect.com.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
You may already know about the Free Talk Live audio on demand phone line at 641-793-9660. Did you know that not only can you listen to Free Talk Live via your phone, you can also leave a message and have it delivered to Free Talk Live's hosts? To leave us your thoughts, just dial 641-793-9660. That's 641-793-9660. Press 2 for Free Talk Live, and then hit 0 to leave your message.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll-free, bring up whatever you want. As the Supreme Court burns, or at least it was burning yesterday in Venezuela, in Caracas, protesters setting the Supreme Court on fire.
We don't need no lawyers. Let that.
So that's happening, and that to me suggests that maybe things are on the brink of collapse there. Maybe? At least that's what the editorial piece here at the Breitbart says. Socialist haven on the brink of total collapse inside Venezuela. It is the recent travels of Ben Q, who went there as a journalist, but he had to kind of keep that a secret because you have to get a special visa in order to be officially allowed in as a journalist. And of course, you would expect that from a country that is embarrassed about, what they do, and they don't want the truth and the pictures and things like that to get out. They try to oppress photographs of people that are standing outside in the lines, where people spend about 36 hours per month, at least, the last numbers we got, waiting in lines outside of grocery stores, for what little food they might have left. I mean, it's just
to be able to get some food to keep their family alive.
It's a crazy situation. People have lost, what was it? I think the average Venezuelan lost 19 pounds last year, because they're just not getting the nourishment that they need.
Is it uncouth for me to say I need to move to Venezuela?
So anyway, just go on the Venezuelan diet.
Yeah, well, and what? Not eat?
Yeah.
That's going to work.
That's pretty much how it is. Yeah,
So it could work.
Just cut down from from 3 meals a day to 1 or 1.5.
Just cut down from eating 7 days a week to eating 6 days a week, or eating 1 day a
3.5
week.
days, or whatever.
Yeah.
So MyPillow.com, by the way, everybody in the whole world's got to sleep. It's good for you. And if you got a great pillow like MyPillow, then you're probably really happy. I know I've been really happy with MyPillow, and Mark, you have as well with yours.
It's awesome.
You can get yours with code FTL, like Free Talk Live, at half price over at MyPillow.com. You punch in code FTL at the checkout, you get half off, and you can also get 2 for the price of 1, however you want to look at it. If you don't like it within the first 60 days, you can get your money back. You have to ship the pillow back, obviously, but then they'll send you your purchase price back to you if for some reason you're not satisfied. But so far, most of the people that we've talked to have been raving about it. The pillow itself is guaranteed to last for 10 years. It's MyPillow.com with code FTL, and it's great because it's designed to fit to the shape of your body and hold your neck in the proper position. And it's washable, so you can put it in your washer and dryer. It's designed for that. MyPillow.com with code FTL for the 50% off. So Ben Q over at Breitbart.com was there recently. He had been in Caracas back in November, and he was kind of comparing his current visit to the one previous in November, and he says the rise in anti-government messaging stands out compared to his previous visit. Pro-government propaganda now shares the streets with graffiti denouncing the regime on nearly every block.
So, it's not that difficult to predict the future here, right?
Yeah.
Like the anti-government messaging is getting stronger. They're cracking down with what effectively are brown shirts. The Supreme Court building is smoldering rubble, or at least smoldering. The Venezuelan government is going to collapse. Now, if you're Nicolas Maduro, how do you make this play out the best for yourself, right? So, I mean, here's a guy who's got, a country at his grasp. He can do what he wants at this point, but you tend in these sort of circumstances to get myopic. Right? Like you've got a big ego.
He may really believe he's got this under control.
Well, I mean, to be in this position, you tend to have a big ego.
Yeah,
People with
that's
big
true.
egos have a bad time figuring out how good they are at a given circumstance.
Maybe the Hugo Chavez bird has been talking to him and telling him that everything's going to be fine, Nicolas.
Right,
Everything is going to be fine. Stay the course.
Doesn't Nicolas Maduro have some kind of talking being that he references?
No, that's what I told you. It's a bird.
Oh, that's okay. It's Nicolas Maduro has the bird.
Maduro told an audience that there was a bird that was speaking to him as though it were Hugo Chavez or something like that.
I see.
Yeah.
Whatever, it's anything like that bird that was talking to Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, I think it was similar to that. And was it Eleanor Roosevelt had a bird talk to her or something like that too? It's kind of been a thing with politicians.
Lady
over
Bird
the years.
Johnson?
Socialists. So what in that circumstance, like the obvious thing to do to me seems to start packing your bag.
He should grab fistfuls of cash,
Right.
U.S. dollars, and get the hell out of there is what he should do if he's smart.
What is done generally by the smart dictators is you move the money offshore to London.
Mm-hmm.
You get a great apartment in downtown London,
or anywhere else but Venezuela.
Right, I understand, but the people seem to want to. They seem to move to London for whatever reason, and you just leave one night. You're going on a diplomatic, mission to blah blah blah. And you're gone.
Yep,
just gone. I mean, there is a jet that will travel from Venezuela to London, and he'll be fine. And
not United though; they've stopped serving Venezuela.
Okay, well, there
but
you go.
yes, I'm sure would be able to charter a jet.
I'm sure he has his own.
Right.
And that would be how he would just go about getting out. And you can make it a 747, fill it full of avgas so that you can take all your friends and family along. And then that way when you weren't in the in crowd because you didn't go with Maduro on the flight. You take as much money as you can possibly get and get gone, I think is really the best bet here.
He's not doing that yet, though.
Well,
he's staying
not
the course.
Yet. But the longer he stays, the more likely his head ends in a pike.
Right, the closer the fires get to his house.
Yeah. So he will not be the first politician to die, while in office, killed by his constituency. He won't be the first this decade, okay? What happened to Gaddafi can happen to this guy.
Here's some more graffiti from the streets of Caracas. Quote, is the translation, obviously it's in Spanish. "If hunger kills the people will take out the government." Scrawled in red across a gray wall in Caracas. There's a billboard calling for the release of opposition leader Leopoldo Lopez, who was imprisoned by the regime in 2014 for organizing a peaceful assembly against Maduro. But that statement about if hunger kill the people will take out the government. That's a true statement. If I've ever heard one, that's the end of the line for people and how far they're willing to be pushed.
The complaint here in the United States is that people won't do anything about their government because they're not hungry enough.
Yeah, and there's TV to distract them and all kinds of breads and circuses.
Yeah, so taking that in the inverse, the people in Venezuela are by all means hungry enough to take out their government.
And they can't afford TV. And they can't afford circus, and they can't afford, sporting events or whatever.
I think it bears a mention here. The socialists will say, these are the ones, the college kids, socialists that, have explanations. They'll say it's the American embargo against Venezuela that is what's causing all this problem.
Well, I'm sure that's not helping things, but no, that's not the cause of the problem.
Well, at this point, with their monetary system defeated like it was, the embargo could be lifted immediately, and it wouldn't make the least bit of difference because the government has destroyed the currency.
Can't buy anything.
Right.
Yeah. More coming up here, 855, 450 free, about the streets, what it's like there in Caracas. We can tell you a little bit more. You can share your thoughts with us. Can this happen here? 855, 450 free, like freedom. You can join us on Free Talk Live.
Lifetime Graze 100% grass-fed beef has the health benefits you seek. When compared to conventional beef, it offers good fats while virtually eliminating the bad. That's the result of cattle who never eat grain, ever. Rich in antioxidants, including vitamin E, C, beta-carotene, and CLA. No artificial hormones, antibiotics, or other drugs. For all our fresh, non-cooked products with only 100% grass-fed beef, go to MidasResources.com. Use voucher code GCN to get 30% off your order. MidasResources.com or find us on Facebook.
Be prepared for the next disaster with the Shelter Pod. The Shelter Pod is a large, all-season, heavy-duty, quick-deploy shelter. The Shelter Pod system can be set up in 30 seconds and includes an emergency medical kit, water filter, survival tools, and more. Are you prepared to take care of your family? Do you have everything in one place ready to go? Get it now or enter to win a complete Shelter Pod system at ShelterPod.com. The Shelter Pod at ShelterPod.com. Shelter when you need it most.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Imagine, if you will, a virtual world, a symbiotic economy with its own currency, where you can barter your services with others. Symbi.com is a marketplace of real people exchanging skills and services, from web developers, marketers, video production specialists, and teachers of all sorts, to gaming consulting or fitness coaching. Symbi.com is a vast world of people trading freely. Take my word for it, it's an adventure you can't afford to miss. Simbi.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit, did your nerves spike? You didn't get the approval you seek, but there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Bring up anything you want right here. The number for you is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. If you've been following the situation, the madness down in Venezuela, as people have been taking to the streets now for months, pretty consistently for months, out there protesting the government, trying to do what they can to oppose this socialist government that has failed miserably and is driving everyone into not quite starvation, but it's getting pretty hungry there.
Getting thin.
Yep, and not good. The government has just destroyed the economy by forcing an exchange rate on the people there, which the last time we looked, and Daryl and I think we talked about this on Friday, we went to dollartoday.com to check in on the current black market exchange rate for the Bolivar Fuerte, the strong bolivar, which because they replaced the original bolivar with that like a decade plus ago. They went sorry about that.
What's that?
It was someone from Venezuela. There's apparently now a video on the front page of Dollar Today. That's what it was.
Okay, he's probably cussing in Spanish.
Yeah, 7,480 Bolivar Fuerte per U.S. dollar. Now, do you remember what the number was the last time you heard it?
I don't. It's just keeps on going up.
It's been 2,500, 4,000, then it went to 6,000, now it's 7,400. I mean, it's just crazy. The official exchange rate is 10 to 1, meaning you turn in $1 U.S. dollar, you get 10 Bolivar if you go to the bank. Whereas if you go onto the streets, then $1 U.S. dollar is worth about 7,480.
Which means that nobody goes to a bank to exchange them, and that also what's more important is essentially no imports come in because no company is willing to take these essentially worthless notes. When you're changing the so dramatically the exchange rate, then they're just not going to take 10 to 1 when they could get 74 to 1. So you don't have import export, you just have smuggling.
So, and the country is basically living off of smuggling right now because there's nobody who can legally buy
thank
things.
God for the smugglers about now. I mean, the only one that hates them is Maduro.
That's why people are still alive, basically, is because the black market is operating. We can get back into inside Venezuela, what it's like in the streets here in a moment. But first, let's go to Chris in Houston, Texas. You're listening online. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, hey, Ian. Do you remember me? I called in about 7 years ago. I used opiates for my pain.
I barely remember who called in last week, but we've certainly talked to a lot of people who have been addicted to opiates over the years.
Here's the thing. I want to say, first of all, I have multiple sclerosis, and with this war on drugs, it is absolutely abysmal. It's a completely safe plant-based medicine that in the early 20th century was completely banned, and now the effects blamed on it are caused by the prohibition of it. But
are you referring to cannabis?
Itself,
no, he's talking about
I'm
opiates.
referring to opiates.
You're talking about poppies.
Morphine. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. And it's just completely the prohibition is what causes the problems that are blamed on it, not the medicine in and of itself.
It's true.
Well, I mean, surely it's bad to be addicted to opiates, right? I mean, I don't know.
Well, in and of itself, it's not.
Well, people were addicted before Prohibition.
Yep.
Well, because if you have a consistent supply, it's absolutely fine to have it. It cures pain. You have all these people called quote unquote addicts. It's people that are in pain that if they have a consistent supply, they will be completely fine if they can just purchase it at the store, for example.
You wouldn't want them operating heavy machinery when they're high on it, right?
Actually, if you look at the studies, it's completely normal. I mean, I'm a small business owner. I take, without incriminating myself, I take shots of heroin, 4 times a day. You would never notice it, but it's just this whole idea that the stealing and stuff that's the effect of prohibition, not.
So what you're saying is because it's illegal, the people can't get a consistent, affordable supply, and so therefore they need to steal things and rob people in order to be able to afford their habit.
Yeah, there's so much information about opiates, especially. Another thing people don't realize is that in 1919, the Opium Convention was imposed on Germany, and Hitler actually re-legalized drugs in National Socialist Germany. I'm not a National Socialist, but it's just kind of funny when people say Nazi drug laws. Well, drugs were legal in Nazi Germany, so it's like,
how about that?
It's just, it's a pain-killing plant, and all the problems blamed on it are the effects of prohibition, not the effects of it itself.
Yeah, I think that's generally a true statement.
It's absolutely ruined my life because having to worry about where do I get it from, the money thing.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, I'm financially stable, so I can afford my habit.
Right, but rich drug addicts are much less likely to be knocking over convenience stores or old ladies.
Well, yeah.
In order to get their money.
I have multiple sclerosis, so I don't really consider myself. Just because. What other option is there? Well, I was lying in bed for 3 months before I took opiates the first time. I mean, what else should I do?
So you're saying you're more able to conduct your life and business because of opiates as compared to whatever it was that you were doing before that?
Right. Opiates save lives. They're a good thing. They help people. Prohibition kills people. Prohibition kills.
And so you have sort of self-prescribed this, right? Because you said you're using heroin, so you're obviously not getting that through a doctor.
Absolutely. Well, again, I mean, prescription laws are a status thing.
Now, are you going online or are you using street dealers?
I'm not going to admit to.
You've already admitted to using heroin 4 times a day.
Well, I mean, but hypothetically, of course.
Oh, okay. So hypothetically, are you going online, or if you were to buy the heroin?
Hypothetically, it would be darknet.
Okay. Okay. Because that's where you're going to likely be able to get product that is more consistent than I would imagine, and maybe even cheaper.
It's funny. It's really because I see it's like Ross William Albright. He is really, I see him like as a martyr. He really fought, and almost died basically for the war on drugs, and it's really sad that
Ross Ulbricht, the founder of the Silk Road, he really did change a lot. He changed
the game,
the whole paradigm.
Because I was back there when Bitcoin was back in that day. I was in the scene back then, still doing it, but it's changed so much, and I just hopefully he gets out of jail. I doubt he will. They really threw the book at him, though.
They sure did.
Yeah, it's not looking good. His appeal, I'm sorry to announce, failed, at least at the panel level. They may have another chance with a full appeals court, but who knows how much that's going to cost and how much more time
I mean,
that
his
will take.
his lawyer wasn't very good either. I don't think he did a very good job. I mean, his mother's claim that it wasn't really him. I think it was him, but I think he should say, hey, it was me, and I fought for it. And
he did say it was him. It was the open.
Well, one thing for certain, it wasn't him, right? Because the account was logged into after he was in jail. So
it was and it wasn't. So it was in the beginning, but it probably wasn't at the very end.
The term Dread Pirate Roberts is extraordinarily appropriate because this is a title as opposed to a name, and it's from The Princess Bride, and you can go watch the movie. Right. It's an awesome movie. But yeah, I mean,
is that Mark's back?
Mark's been back.
I haven't been back for a while.
Yeah.
All I can say about my heroin experience was I took half an oxycodone, and when I had some of the most severe pain in my life, I had ruptured an eardrum in scuba class, and it took the pain away relatively quickly, but I would have not been able to drive an automobile while under that,
Yeah, not recommended to be using heavy machinery. Hey, Chris, thanks for the call. Thanks for the update tonight. Glad you're doing all right. More coming up here in moments. You can join us. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And, forgive us if we don't remember every person who's ever called Free Talk Live. We've been doing this show for more than a decade, 15 years or something like that. It is Free Talk Live. One more segment remains tonight. It's coming up.
Today, how to incorporate your business in just 10 minutes so you won't lose everything if you get sued. Step 1, stop putting it off. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business tomorrow, it's not just your business at risk. You can lose everything: your home, your car, even your life savings. Step 2, call the following number for a free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com. 1-800-940-9829. They don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating quick and easy. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. That number again is 1-800-940-9829. Step 3, congratulate yourself. By taking just 10 minutes to incorporate your business or form an LLC, you protected your home, your car, and your life savings. And that is how you incorporate your business in just 10 minutes. But hurry while they're still giving away these 10-minute incorporation guides for free. Call 1-800-940-9829. That's 1-800-940-9829.
Are you drowning in debt? Are you struggling to make minimum payments? Did you know that on average a household with at least one credit card struggles with over $10,000 in credit card debt? If this sounds like you, know that it's not your fault. Credit card debt happens to good people. Credit card companies lure you in with low introductory rates and low minimum payments. Before you know it, you're in over your head. We've helped thousands of good people just like you become debt-free with our Debt Reset program that will dramatically reduce your debt down to a fraction of what you owe. Our Debt Reset program is customized to get you debt-free in as little as 24 to 48 months with one low monthly payment. If you owe over $10,000 in credit card debt or even personal loans, call 800-912-6177. There are no upfront fees or out-of-pocket expenses. You don't pay a dime until we succeed. Call now to see how the Debt Reset program can work for you. 800-912-6177. That's 800-912-6177. Again, 800-912-6177.
Understanding your credit score is the first step towards managing and improving it. This is Charlie Sundstrom with your Van Dyke Mortgage Minute. The most influential component of your credit score is your payment history. Almost equally as important is the amount you owe on credit accounts. Also impacting your score, but to a lesser degree, are the length of time you've utilized your credit, the number of new accounts, credit inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve or maintain a healthy credit score, have a system set up to assure your bills are always paid on time. Don't max out your cards. It's better to have a high credit limit with a low balance. Never close old accounts. The age of these can actually help your credit score. But don't be afraid to use your credit. You need several accounts in order to have a credit score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting VanDykeMortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
DVD, books, music, instruments, periodicals, computers, software, electronics, photo, cell phones, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and outdoors, toys, games, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.freetalklive.com. Get all your shopping done, get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit Free Talk Live when you enter Amazon via shop.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You may join us here in these remaining moments. There's enough time for you if you dial in toll-free right now. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype as well. The Skype username here is LRN.FM. Joining you in our studio tonight, you've got me, Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
Also, want to make sure that you know how to support Free Talk Live. One of the best ways to do it is by becoming a Free Talk Live amplifier. And you can do that over at amp.freetalklive.com, amp.freetalklive.com. It's $5 a month. That's money that we invest into the show so we can get on more radio stations around the country. We got over 170 of them right now. We could have more than that. It just takes time and effort and money. And so you can help us with that. $5 a month. You get perks too, like access to the AMP-only call-in lines, the AMP-only podcast, AMP-only Facebook group, and more. Just head on over to amp.freetalklive.com. Learn more about the program and get signed up with any major credit card, PayPal, as well as Bitcoin over at amp.freetalklive.com. To the phones, to the fun. We've got Sarah in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Sarah.
Yes. They say that 17% of the cars already have the safe auto brake. Well, I know that here in New Mexico, we have none because we only have the low-end cars. Because those are placed in the high-end cars, the very expensive cars.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so I don't think that we have any of those cars here at all.
Now, when you say auto brakes, are you talking about like the newer technology where they use some sort of, I don't know, sonar or whatever to determine whether something is coming close to the car and it will automatically apply the brakes to
like traction control,
avoid an accident?
Right. It has like sensor cameras and sensors that
forward collision warning detection.
That it has the warning. It has a beep beep. It tries to alert you to stop, but if you don't respond, it'll stop.
It'll stop for you.
Not always. My car has forward collision detection.
You can turn it off?
No, my car has forward collision detection, but it does not actually stop the vehicle. Depends on how new your vehicle is and whether or not.
So you have the ones that alert you, but it doesn't brake automatically.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
It alerts you. That's
I heard that they have something today. I heard this at a panel up in Concord with Darrell W. Perry for the Libertarian Party, and just before the panel, the panelists were the committee or whatever was discussing these fancy new car features. Apparently, they have a feature now where you can like press a button and your car will parallel park itself. Anyone heard about this?
Yes.
Yeah, that's been around for a while.
Yep.
Yeah, but you know what? Those are for Rolls Royces, the top of the line Lexuses. What cars have these? I mean, you have to pay money for it. So then that's what
You're saying you don't believe that people in New Mexico have enough money to afford the fancy cars?
Right. Well, especially maybe in Santa Fe and maybe Taos. Julia Roberts has a house over there. Maybe she has one of those cars. But down here in Albuquerque, nobody has one of those. Nobody has those cars. Well, we own We're so poor.
How does
I know that we're going to vote down the gas tax. They're so broke. I mean,
well, but it might be one of the reasons, though. Is let me ask you about your vehicle registration fees. How does that work?
She doesn't know. She doesn't have a car.
I'm asking her a question. She may know.
All right, fine.
Sarah, do you know how vehicle registration works? Is it a flat fee, or is it based on the amount that the vehicle costs?
I don't know that.
Okay.
But it's like half the drivers don't have any. How about this insurance? They don't even have. They can just drive without. I think it's not even a state
It's probably
law
against the
to have
law
no
to drive
car
there
insurance.
without insurance, so it shows you how useful laws are. Now, one thing I'd point out is that I live, I've lived in Florida, I've lived in New Hampshire, and in Florida, there's a flat fee of something like $40 or $50 to register your car per year. In New Hampshire, it's based on the value of the vehicle. So if you buy yourself a nice, expensive Hummer H3, or I don't know, you pick the expensive car, then it's going to cost you a small fortune. It's going to cost you what my F-350 is worth every year to register that thing, because they're going to hit you every single year. Now, it doesn't cost you any money to buy it because there's no sales tax, so the best thing to do is to buy your car in New Hampshire and then move it to some other state. But regardless, this is one way that states have a tendency to make things less safe on the road, because it incentivizes people to keep old vehicles. I know I'm not going to pay much on my F-350 to register it because it isn't worth much. But so I'm going to drive it till the wheels fall off. Rather than getting a newer, safer car for everybody,
they're disincentivized.
It's the taxes that are killing people, Sarah.
Yeah, that's true. Sarah, thanks for the call tonight. Appreciate it. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. In Venezuela, of course, there's not much freedom, although they do have cheap gasoline. Of course, can anybody really afford to buy it at this point? Nearly every day, according to Breitbart.com, they sent a reporter there secretly. This is what his report was from the streets. He'd been there in November. He says nearly every day anti-government marches take place across Venezuela, nearly all of which attract violence. So far, as many as 84 protesters have been killed since daily protests began in late March as police use water cannons, rubber bullets, and smoke bombs to control the situation. Now, you're thinking to yourself, well, how are water cannons killing anybody? It's not the water cannons. It's the thugs that Maduro has given guns to, the president of the country.
Water cannons will kill you.
That's not where the 84 deaths have come from, though.
Probably not.
It's coming from the thugs that have been armed with real guns and basically told, hey, you do what you got to do about these protesters. Yeah, you're not allowed to have guns in Venezuela.
Unless you work for the folks that work for Maduro.
In this case, you're unofficially working for Maduro. You're not actually getting a paycheck. You're just getting a gun. That's all they're getting out of this. They're getting the ability to have guns and have the law look the other way. Anyway, as many as 84 protesters have been killed. Protests have the feel of an out-of-control soccer crowd. There's a feeling of solidarity among people, most of whom are wearing Venezuelan flags. On the side of the street, salesmen sell what can only be described as protest merchandise, including Venezuelan flags, horns, and T-shirts. Below, the shirts read from left to right, SOS Venezuela. Whoever tires will lose. Resistance, don't surrender. Closer to police and military barriers, the protests become more tense, with the menace of violence constantly present. Many of those protesting are boys and young men in their mid-teens. This is a fight for our families, for our future, a group of masked protesters tell me. We risk our lives every day for as long as it takes to bring down this dictatorship. And on a visit to the Universidad Central de Venezuela, the country's biggest university, something seemed not quite right. The university itself seems like any other, with department buildings scattered around a campus, as well as grandiose facilities like sports stadiums and a stunning concert hall. Yet, despite it being a Wednesday, there are barely any students around. The situation is too serious.
Looking for food.
For students to dedicate sufficient time to studying, according to an English professor there. She says many prioritize attending anti-government marches or trying to earn money to support their families. During some of my classes, just a handful of students turn up. One of the most frustrating things, says the author here, about trying to understand Venezuela is the high level of security at places the regime would like to hide. As I enter a government-run supermarket, security guards check my pockets to see what I'm carrying. You know, here in the U.S., we have people who object to being checked on the way out of the store. where you have to show a receipt or whatever to prove that you bought the things that you have. We've had that discussion.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, here they're checking you on the way in. And sure enough, they found my camera. No photos here, they say. And a similar routine takes place on the way out. I also tried my luck at a Venezuela. Why do you think they don't want you to take photos at a supermarket in Venezuela?
Because you'll see pictures of nearly empty shelves.
I bet you're right about that.
Then you'll hashtag Venezuela, and everybody will
hashtag socialism.
J.
I also tried my luck at the state hospital, although this time armed guards asked me to put the camera away. Nearly every public place in Caracas is guarded by police, keeping a watchful eye over the situation. Most are very meagerly paid, but still officially remain supportive of the government. Well, that is for now. As long as they keep getting that paycheck coming in. How long are the police going to stay the police if the paychecks don't keep, being able to cash?
Not very long. It really all comes down to the paychecks going in. Didn't they have a certain amount of problems with soldiers not getting food?
Yep, that happened.
They were sort of turning on them, yeah.
Amid the crisis, some Venezuelans have accused others of not doing enough to fight the Maduro regime. Taxi driver Nelson Alvarez.
You all right, buddy?
Nope, not all right.
You need some water?
Yep, I will. Taxi driver Nelson Alvarez tells me the only way I see out of the current regime is a military coup. And there's more to the story. We'll post the full one on our social media, Twitter.
The citizens can just go ahead and burn down the rest of the government buildings.
And Facebook. So you want to read the whole thing? We got that for you. And online, in the meantime, you can join us over at freetalklive.com. Thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com. The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, June 13th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.85 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,264 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 1.7 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,711. Antiwar.com reports with nearly complete results in, the Kosovar-Albanian coalition, calling itself the War Wing, is claiming victory in the general election of the disputed state of Kosovo, claiming that they have amassed a convincing victory in the vote. NATO attacked Serbia in 1998 and 1999, and at the end of the war declared Kosovo to be a UN protectorate. Prior to that, Kosovo was part of Serbia, and the ethnic Serbs in northern Kosovo continued to oppose their independence, which was formally declared in 2008. Heavily backed by NATO, Kosovo's claim to independence is recognized by a lot of nations, but by no means all of them. Their government is dominated by ethnic Albanian factions from the southern part of Kosovo, groups which remain hostile towards neighboring Serbia, and have tried to militarily prevent the Kosovar Serbs from trading across the border. How long independent Kosovo remains is anyone's guess, however, as a number of Albanian factions, including some within Kosovo, envision the creation of a greater Albania, which would envelop Albania, Kosovo, and parts of neighboring countries with Albanian minorities. Indeed, it was just over a month and a half ago that Albanian Prime Minister Rama suggested Albania ought to unify by annexing Kosovo outright, a comment which fueled warnings by Serbia, which does not recognize Kosovar independence, that such a bid would lead to war. When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. UPI reports the newest member of the U.S. House of Representatives pled guilty on Monday to assaulting a reporter and must now undergo anger management counseling. Congressman-elect Greg Gianforte pled to a misdemeanor count of assault in Gallatin County, Montana court on Monday. The charge stemmed from a confrontation the then Republican candidate had with journalist Ben Jacobs on May 24th, the day before Montana held its special election to replace Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke in the state's at-large district. Gianforte said in court on Monday, "I grabbed his wrist, a scuffle ensued, and he was injured. It was not my intention to hurt him." The judge called Gianforte's actions totally unacceptable and sentenced him to a deferred 6-month sentence, 40 hours of community service, and 20 hours of anger management. If he complies with the terms of the sentence, he could have the charge dismissed later this year. An attorney for Gianforte said the congressman has paid Jacobs nearly $5,000 in restitution. Even with the controversy, Gianforte won the special election with 50% of the vote over Democrat Rob Quist and Libertarian Mark Wick on May 25th in the state's historically GOP at-large district. Gianforte will take office later this month. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports President Donald Trump suffered another legal setback on Monday as a second federal appeals court refused to revive his travel ban on people entering the United States from 6 Muslim-majority countries in a dispute headed to the U.S. Supreme Court. The San Francisco-based 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals used narrow grounds to reject the Trump administration's bid to undo a Hawaii federal court's decision blocking the temporary ban. It said the president's March 6th order violated existing immigration law, but the 3-judge panel did not address whether it was unconstitutional discrimination against Muslims. A second court, the Richmond, Virginia-backed 4th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, on May 25th upheld a Maryland judge's ruling that also blocked Trump's 90-day ban on travelers from Libya, Iran, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. The 9th Circuit Court largely left in place a nationwide injunction by Judge Derek Watson that stopped parts of the order, which Trump said was urgently needed to prevent terrorism in the United States. That ruling came in a lawsuit challenging the order brought by the state of Hawaii, which stated the ban would harm its universities and tourism industry. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
After years of weekly meetings with his psychologist, local man Chris Vaughn told reporters today he was excited to only have 2 sessions left before completely resolving all of his emotional issues and never having the need to return to another therapy session again.
When I started therapy, I knew if I could make it through exactly 120 50-minute sessions with Dr. Warner, then all of my issues with depression and crippling anxiety would be gone. Next week we're covering my parents, The week after that, we're wrapping up my trust issues, and then I should be good to go.
According to Vaughn, it took 40 sessions alone to fully resolve his feelings of inadequacy and low self-esteem resulting from an unhappy childhood. Vaughn's therapist, Dr. Susan Warner, told Onion reporters that she's pleased with her patient's progress and relieved that his long-time emotional and cognitive issues are nearly solved for good.
I told him that getting healthy would take at least 100 hours of therapy, and now he'll never have to see me again. Thank God for that. That guy was a real piece of work.
This is the Onion News Network. And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Today, let us make them remember. We are not afraid!
No fear! No fear, no fear, no fear, no fear, no fear here, and declare your independence of me, Ernest Hancock, here in Phoenix, Arizona, from the BEAUT full studios of Freedoms with an S, Phoenix.com. Get up earlier. Okay. Richard Amores. Richard, his dark web investigation and Bitcoin forensic service is, bottom line, we know everything about everything when you're Bitcoin and you're not anonymous anymore, and we'll take this and sell this service to whoever will, pay us to do it. Because you need forensics on Bitcoin transactions. Somebody did something somewhere and something, they didn't pay their taxes or something. Well, they're the guys, so let's go ahead and darkdataservices.com. As I went over the bio, it was a referral from a listener, and I just said, so what? The signal goes somewhere, and they go everywhere. That's Mr. Universe from Serenity. Let's say hello to Richard Amores. Richard, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, you're going to scare the crap out of everybody today?
Well, I think the truth is can be really scary, but the truth will set you free.
Thank you. All right, he has over 38 years of IT experience working internationally for the top Fortune 100 companies like Bank of America, American Express, IBM, Adobe, and many others. Today, Richard is part of Dark Data Services, LLC, a dark web Bitcoin thread intelligence gathering service. The signal goes somewhere, and we go everywhere. Mr. Universe, Serenity. We at darkdataservices.com have designed tools to track Bitcoin transactions down to the physical location. Our tracking tool captures data live from the blockchain to deliver the IP address, the geolocation coordinates, the ISP, and the host name of transaction. We can then analyze the wallet data with thousands of transactions in minutes that would take other investigators days, weeks, or months to compile, even delivering CVS files of all the data that was captured live. We use custom-built crawlers to map the dark web and track Bitcoin. We have experience in working with the dark web methods and technologies. We can track anything in the dark web, giving you a different look at your company's C-suite and products and your intellectual property. We are your go-to shop for all dark web questions and answers, and it just generated a boatload of questions, okay? So, Richard, go ahead and, of the billion questions, there was an article you were just in recently. I haven't had time to finish. Tell me about that.
Well, the people at Bitcoin Magazine are always trying to keep ahead with, of what's going on. They heard about what I'm doing, and yeah, it was because right now there's Bitcoin is going not just into the dark web, but it's also being adapted by Wall Street, the white-collar people. So there's a big interest here. And my goal was to well, okay, we have all this information out here about wallets, because wallets supposedly are anonymous. Bitcoin transactions are anonymous. No, they're not. Okay, people have to understand that this is they run on top of a network that has rules and protocols that you have to understand that that's the way the system works. They say if you go into the dark web and then do a Bitcoin transaction, you're going to be anonymous. Wrong, okay? The analogy I use is you have an apartment building, and that's you. And then your computer is hooked up to that apartment building through the Internet. Now, the reason why you can have a web page going, receive emails, and do other things besides the regular just web watching is because they send the signal out there, and then they have one apartment that's called port 80. That's your web. They have another apartment called 25. That's your SMTP mail. Tor works on port apartment number 9001. Bitcoin works on port 8333.
Okay, now wait. Describe a port, okay? I'm glad you're doing the apartment thing. You're making this easy. Yeah. Thank you. But, a port is, describe that.
Okay, a port is when you get your Internet signal, you get a bunch of stuff thrown at you. And what they do, each application, does different things, and so it needs specific application. In other words, if you send a mail out and then you send somebody sends you a mail, how can you watch your favorite video at the same time? Because the signal goes into the apartment building and then it gets routed to the different apartment numbers that take care of that protocol, that technology. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah. Why?
Okay. Well, it has to be that way because we have so many other devices. FTP, which is file transfer, that's another protocol. If it's better to do, the port numbers is just part of the TCP/IP standards. I mean, we can't get away from that. That's what I mean. There's rules about the network and how it works.
If you do not comply with a certain amount of information to help them be able to route it to whatever, and I get it on my screen, it's not going.
Exactly. And you have a firewall, right? And you hear about firewalls. So firewalls can block certain ports, so that way, you don't have to worry about that signal. Like my son, he's a gamer, so we have to have, because of the software he uses, my firewall is really tight, okay? So I have to open up the port for his game in order for the game to work at the same time. And that's
And that's how they get you through your teenager's gaming port.
Oh, you got that right.
Gaming has a certain one. What about porn? Porn. All the viruses come. I have teenage sons, man. I go, you got to buy your own virus, man, because I'm no.
And how do they do it? They download through BitTorrents. Okay, BitTorrent, once again, a different port. Okay, I don't know the exact port number, but if you're in the dark web and you download a video from the dark web, supposedly you're hidden, right? The torrent protocol has the server IP address and the client IP address. You can't get away from that. So whenever you download anything, that torrent, that BitTorrent executable is actually reading and it has your IP address. So you can get caught just downloading, videos. As a matter of fact, in the dark web, please do that because VPN is when you go in through anything like a file. Okay, I go from Time Warner, where I hooked in, and I go to a VPN, and then from there I hook up to the dark web. It doesn't matter. BitTorrent has to know where you are and where you're physically located in order for it to work. So even though you've gone through these, ways to mask yourself, it doesn't matter. The protocol at the bottom layer, it has to know where to send the signal.
Okay, so what's the claim on the VPN? It just makes it a little harder, but your dark data services, and I blaze past that and don't look there, and I already know what's already up anyway. I mean, explain to me the VPN promise, the VPN shtick, and the lie. I mean, is there a lie? Or are they just, but you didn't say you defended against darkdataservices.com.
If you're doing web browsing, you have nothing to fear because it's basically HTTP traffic, which just goes back and forth. VPNs are designed to be able to pass that with no problem. When you start loading, large amounts of data, like a BitTorrent, then what you're doing, remember, you're increasing your bandwidth. So that's a big pull on them.
Okay, wait. We don't want to miss this in the music. When we come back, we're going to go. All right. So a VPN, does that help? It doesn't help. You find out all my Bitcoin transactions or not, and how, and Richard Morris is going to help us when we come back in just a little bit.
This is. When it comes to investing in precious metals, you need a source you can trust who offers you choices and empowers you to maximize your wealth. That's where Roberts & Roberts Brokerage can help. Roberts & Roberts is a trusted name in precious metals. Since 1977, Roberts & Roberts has been providing you with the finest gold and silver bullion, coins, rounds, and bars at genuine and honest prices. They make it easy to invest in precious metals and work with you to suit your investment needs. In addition to offering gold and silver for sale for US dollars, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage is now accepting Bitcoin in exchange for their quality precious metals products. To speak with a professional from Roberts & Roberts about investing in precious metals, call toll-free 800-874-9760. Write this number down, 800-874-9760. Visit Roberts & Roberts online at rrbi.co. That's rrbi.co. On behalf of Roberts & Roberts, here's hoping your day is as good as gold.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only